You walk through this dark tunnel and you're just greeted by all these screaming fans. The droning and all the noise kind of fades away. You get into game, you put your headset on, and it's time to focus on the task at hand.
There's a good team and a bad team. One side defends, one side attacks.
It's an easy concept to understand. You're gonna hit that shot, guy goes down, you win the round.
It's like the equivalent of watching an action movie.
You get to see players compete over time, storylines develop.
He gets the punish! You cannot be serious!
Everything is going to be taken to a whole new level.
$1.2 million.
The biggest prize pool ever in CSGO.
That right there is just like crazy.
There is always action.
It's one of the most exciting games to watch. It's got everything spectators want to see.
Having millions of people watching it gets my adrenaline pumping just thinking about it.
Hello esports fans and welcome to the opening day of E-League, where we're going to see 24 elite Counter-Strike teams from across the world compete for $1.2 million. And there on your screen is the captain of one of those teams. It is Fallen from the world's best team right now, current major holders, Luminosity. Today they're going to be going up against the boys from Down Under. It is Renegades, and there's Sponge, their captain, on screen. Entering the studio now, we're going to have Team Liquid. We're going to see them a little bit later, one of the teams from North America looking to prove themselves here in the E-League studio. I am Richard Lewis, your incredibly proud host for today, and joining me on the desk, we've got two of the finest minds in Counter-Strike. On my immediate left, we have got the boy from Michigan, a man who, through his analysis and expertise, much like his namesake, has tried to lead his people to the promised land. It is Moses. And joining me over there on the far left, we've got a man who has been in some incredible teams in his time as an ex-pro. He's been in some of the highest paying leagues. He's earned so much money. Now he just gets to be a has-been. It is Mo Assad. How are you doing?
I'm really happy to be here, very excited.
Yeah, well, first of all, let's talk about this studio.
Amazing.
It's like Christmas come early being here.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? I'm still having to pinch myself. I mean, when we saw all the dailies and the rushes and stuff getting sent to me, it's in an email. You're like, yeah, how good can it actually be?
I did not think this would happen at all, like this, at this scale.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just jaw-dropping, just being in this environment. I mean, everything's been crazy, so it's beautiful here.
Yeah, and if you want to get involved as well and keep up with how we built this awesome studio and everything else, you can do so on social media. Follow us on Twitter, @EL. You can also go to our Facebook page, which is E-League Gaming. It's Facebook/E-League Gaming. And, of course, if you're watching on Twitch, that's E-League TV. Hi to you all out there. So, anyway, we've got an amazing set of games for us today. We're going to get right into the action as soon as possible. But first of all, because it is a new format, a new league, we're going to give you a video that's going to be presented to you by Arby's explaining how this format works.
You want a breakdown of E-League? Here's how it will all play out. E-League Season 1 is a 10-week season with competitive gameplay from Valve's Counter-Strike Global Offensive. 24 teams from around the world will compete for a $1.2 million prize pool. First, let's break down the group phase, which is Week 1 through Week 6. 4 teams will play each other each week on Tuesday and Wednesday. Every team plays each other twice in a round-robin format, with each map win worth 1 point. Based on these results, teams are seeded into a 4-team single-elimination bracket. This semifinal round plays out on Thursday. A match win in this semifinal round is worth 2 points. The 2 winners of the semifinal round advance to a Friday night finals showcase. The winner of this group finals earns 4 points and automatically advances to the playoffs. Week 7 is a bye week, but the runner-up of the group finals automatically advances into the last chance qualifiers in Week 8. Joining the runner-ups will be the 2 highest point-earning third-place teams from the group phase. In these Week 8 last chance qualifiers, 8 teams compete in a single bracket, and the top 2 teams will advance to the playoffs. During the playoffs, 8 teams will compete in a single elimination tournament. The grand finals will occur in Week 10, with the champion of E-League Season 1 being crowned.
So there we have it. That's how it's going to work. It's fairly straightforward. We'll take a look ahead at the games we've got. Boys, I'm going to take my foot off the pedal for a little bit and let you talk about this one.
Yeah, I mean, today's going to be, all these teams are in the North American region playing in other leagues, but today we're going to start with Luminosity versus Renegades, and that's the best team from Brazil, one of the best teams in the world versus the best team from Australia, and then we have a North American matchup, two teams who are constantly vying for the crown in North America. Team Liquid versus Cloud9, very storied teams there in the region, and then Liquid is going to get a rematch with Luminosity, a big rematch from the major semifinal. That is going to be interesting to see before we move on to tomorrow, which is going to start out with Renegades and Liquid, so they're going to have a chance to take on the Australians. And then Luminosity versus Cloud9, which is technically hailed as, the best from Brazil, best in the world versus the best in North America. Cloud9 still kind of holds that crown. And then Renegades versus Cloud9 to end tomorrow.
So some awesome games to look forward to. And of course, what's an awesome game without awesome people telling you what's happening on your screen? We got some of the guys, top tier talent, I believe. You may have heard of them. They're called Anders and Semler. You're over there. How you doing?
Just barely make you out. The studio's so big and so flashy. So many lights going off in my face. I think you're over there, man.
Let's get you a telescope so we can just see what we're doing over there.
How you doing, man? I'm so happy to be here. This is incredible.
Yeah, we're having a grand time already, aren't we? And I mean, I think a tough match to start it off with because they're just starting to introduce it here. Renegades and obviously Luminosity.
Bit of a tough break for the Australians, isn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, that format is elaborate as well. That was a nice walkthrough, I think, just to get everyone caught up. Even I'm learning a little bit there, just a little bit.
Well, we'll obviously be repeating in case you guys missed that format. We'll obviously be covering all that for you guys, trying to keep it fresh and so everybody can understand, because we don't always use the round robin format. Usually it's double elimination format, very clear cut. But we wanted all the teams to get to play against each other for once, right? So in the groups, everybody competes against everybody. They show really who deserves to go through into the playoff bracket, who gets that best seed going into the playoff bracket.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, and it's kind of nice that we get all the teams that are now playing in the North American region playing in the opening week. I think that makes a lot of sense. Some rivalry coming. I think the North American scene is really coming alive now.
No, this is beautiful, man. And Luminosity, like they said, Richard, you pointed that out. They are the major title holders. They're the best team in the world right now. That includes Europe, the heartland of CS. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they play out and how Renegades fare to start off the day against them.
Yeah. Well, boys, I'm going to take it back from you. You get paid to talk for a living. We're going to get some airtime if that's all right with you. Okay, but we like surprises at E-League, and we've got one for you now. We're going to introduce the chap who's going to be doing our interviews. Haven't announced him until now. It is, of course, the legendary Chris Puckett. How are you doing, Chris?
All right, thank you, Richard. I am behind the scenes here at a beautiful set there, but this whole studio here at Turner is simply amazing. And the players, they are getting top-notch treatment. You can see Cloud9 and Liquid are in their booths. Right now, Cloud9 behind closed doors, but Liquid, they said feel free to come on in. Going over the strategy with the new coach, Peacemaker, you can see the boys getting ready for their first match. The Americans, they'll be playing in the second match of the day. But coming up, after the commercial break, we're going to set up match number 1. It's going to be Luminosity taking on Renegades.
Brazil. My nickname is Fallen. I play for LG. We're here in Atlanta, and it's awesome to be here. Been playing on this first Turner tournament, the E-League. I think this tournament is going to change our lives, and it's going to change how the community itself approaches esports. We want to show that we can compete on a high level and show you why we're considered one of the best teams in the world. And we're so excited to do this. I expect you cheering for us, and let's make a beautiful game together and do our best.
And there you can see Fallen, who is the captain of Luminosity. It looks like he's trying out to be a male model there as well on the side. But it turns out he doesn't need to do that just yet. He is pretty good at Counter-Strike.
He could probably do it.
Oh, definitely.
Offer in-game leader.
He's got more chance than me, I reckon.
Bottle.
But
will they blur us out if we do anything?
Probably not. Let's not try it.
Let's see how fast they are.
It's too early. I don't want to get cancelled on day one. But anyway, let's talk about Fallen and this Luminosity team. You know, he's built them up from nothing, and I mean that literally. You hear this phrase bandied around, but he actually created a team in a scene where there wasn't any sponsorship, where it was incredibly hard to just get investment, and then he's turned them into the world's best team. It is one of the most ridiculous stories I've seen in Counter-Strike history.
It's amazing what he's done. He took a team, he sacrificed so much, they all did, just to move out here and play. And what they did is they showed us how bad North America really is with excuses. I mean with excuses, because their main excuse was, we don't have other teams good enough to play against, so therefore our practice is bad and we can't improve. They moved to North America, and now they're the #1 team in the world. So that just, I don't want to say any bad words, but you know, it's getting me a little ragey.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because
we all know how that goes.
It just shows how much all the other teams took it for granted, and they're over here, they're struggling. I know for a fact they were one of the lowest paid teams starting off, and now, you know, I mean, they were just hungrier than everyone. I really applaud them.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a single player in the Counter-Strike community in this league that's more important to their team's success than Fallen. And what's incredible about it is another team that's not here is Tempo Storm, the second best team in Brazil, which he has essentially also propped up himself, also built up, given them opportunities. So just the way he's able to lead, the effectiveness he is in-game as an individual is so impressive. And this team, I mean, it's all around Fallen. But I mean, now there's star players. There's guys like Cole, there's guys like Fur who can contribute as well, that he's kind of directed in how to be used.
I think it's worth mentioning as well, though, you know, we talk about Fallen. He is also one of the world's best AWPers. He's not just there because he's some brain, you know, he is the brains of the outfit, but he's also incredibly talented at the game.
Yeah, I mean, as an AWP, he can do pretty much everything with an AWP, and he's starting to get to like old JW form where he's very flashy as well, but like even in clutch situations, he's such a smart player. There's that brain we're talking about. Even when he's in 1-on-2s, 1-on-3s, he can pull some miracles for his team, so any situation, this guy is extremely effective. Even when he's not having an impact, you know, getting kills or getting frags, whatever it might be, just the way he directs this team keeps them patient. And you can see they have so much trust and so much faith in what he's calling out that it works so well as a unit.
Mo, would you say he's the world's most complete player?
He is the world's most complete player. He not only has all the talents of an in-game leader, which is more than just calling the right strat. He also knows when to call him. He knows how to react in certain situations. And the best part about it is when he's out of ideas, he looks to his teammates. He doesn't shut them down like other leaders might be too stubborn to listen to their teammates. They're like, I know more than you. He'll ask, like, there's been times where he said himself, Cold was calling for the overtime of a match because he's simply just
in a major,
which is huge. And just the fact that he's humble enough to do that and tell the world and not just take full credit like, oh, it was all me. It just shows what kind of person he is.
Yeah, imagine if you'd been a bit more humble in your career.
I regret nothing.
Okay, anyway, look, they got to play Renegades, the boys from Down Under, and we were talking about them being Australian. I mean, they are kind of almost bona fide Americans right now. They've been living out here for a while, trying to get it all right. And they're a team that have had a bit of mixed fortunes, I think would be the kindest way to put it lately.
Well, I mean, it's interesting that this team pretty much exactly parallels Luminosity. They also came from like the beleaguered Oceanic region where there wasn't a lot of sponsorship money, wasn't a lot of opponents to be playing against, not a lot of strong leagues, so they came to America, and they're the complete opposite, right? They haven't found that success yet. They're still struggling, just making a roster change in February, so they're still kind of shuffling things around and trying to get into that groove. So they can really look at Luminosity and say, this is what we want to become. This is the storyline that we want to follow.
And if you want to talk about mirrors, Mo, right? We've talked about the success of Fallen as a captain and how you just can't criticize this guy. He's just
perfect human.
You got Sponge on the other side of things, who has been a captain that has been criticized for the way he's led his team, criticized for the way he's interacted with the media, criticized for the way he's played, and he comes into this under immense pressure. Even Australian pundits are saying he shouldn't be on the team.
Here's the thing about Sponge that find kind of weird to me. It's he has this sense of entitlement. Whenever people say something about him, he doesn't like it. He goes out and says it. You know, people whenever they win, which is very rare, but when they do win, they bring up that he's like, no one thought we could do this. You know, people underestimated us. This, that. You don't see other teams doing that when they win, and then when they lose, and people don't like it, he goes on one of his meltdowns where he disappears. So I honestly think the whole thing is like mental stability there needs to be where they start, and maybe the rest of the team falls.
I think that's a little harsh. Here's the thing about Sponge. He takes
they don't pay me the big bucks to be nice. Right?
He takes that. I think he's more the guy that takes that for his team. I think he's the one who says, my team's under fire. I will stand up and take all the damage.
I think he's the big spokesperson. I don't want to single him out. I think he is speaking for the team, but I just think that's a wrong way to go about it.
Okay. Yeah, I think, well, the good thing for Sponge is he's been begging for a coach in this organization for a long time, for like 6 months, and they finally get one, I think, just a month or two ago. So he's finally got someone to help when it comes to the tactics, the leadership of the team, structuring how they want to play actually in-game. So I think that's going to end up taking a lot of pressure off him and maybe some of the other guys. So I think he's now finally got a little bit of structure behind him, a little bit of something he can lean on, because he has been the one who's taken all that criticism. He has been the one who's very vocal, standing up for his teammates, standing up for his performances.
This is the team they've got to beat. We're going to bring that up on your screens. This is obviously a closer look at the Luminosity lineup that Renegades are going to go up against. And look, just talking about measuring up man for man here.
It's no question.
It's just
Luminosity blows them out of the water.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, the talent in this roster.
It's insane. They're just amazing players from left to right.
And well, the big thing too is this team is always built, and Fallen's always very vocal about like just the roles that he puts them in. It's not so much just everyone is supremely talented. It's that they're so talented in working together in the specific style that they have, utilizing players perfectly on maps. I think Taco plays a very, very integral role on certain maps. That he's a huge player for them. FNX is a big, always has the impact frags. Fallen has that AWPer. Then you have guys like Cold and Fur, where it's just go out and be a massive star player. And they all fill their roles just perfectly.
All right, well, look, thanks for your thoughts, gentlemen. Obviously, we're going to be talking on the desk. That's what we're here for, so we certainly hope you get to come back. We're going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to be bringing you the action. Don't go too far. Hello and welcome back to E-League. Here we are. The desk has moved. It does rotate just a little bit. my first time on it. I didn't get to do the rehearsal.
It's quite the ride, wasn't it?
No, I panicked.
It was a little faster this time.
No one warned you.
Faster.
I wasn't ready. Anyway, let's hope our teams are ready. Counter-Strike is a game of strategy. That's the part of the show that we're going to talk about now. How are these guys going to do? What maps are they going to be playing against each other? Who's going to win?
Well, I think the very easy answer is to just say Luminosity is going to win. I think this actually is a pretty far spread out, and you can see the vetoes there. These are vetoed in advance, so teams can actually veto the same map, but Luminosity taking out Cash and Nuke, as you can see, Overpass and Dust 2 for Renegades, and Cobblestone is going to be first up. That's Luminosity's map, and then Train will be the second one.
Yeah. It's very interesting that Cobblestone was left in, but I believe that's because no one wants to play Nuke, and Luminosity is known for taking out Cash. That's the one map that Renegades might have a chance on, but I honestly don't want to sit here and say they have a chance, because I don't think they have any.
I mean, I think this is the hard part, right? We all know to be a top team in Counter-Strike, what really gets you the wins and gets you the tournament wins is depth of map pool. And I just do not see Renegades having that. I mean, their map pool is
two maps, maybe.
Like,
yeah, which is also surprising for how long there's been, these four players. He still is the new player, but JKS, Sponge, GM, and Azar have all been together long enough to start building a pretty deep map pool to where they should be able to just plug that fifth guy in to a certain degree and say we can play on all these maps. But the more worrying thing than the depth of their map pool is they don't have any dominant map. They don't have a map where you can feel very comfortable that they're going to win.
That was the point I was going to make. It's not a map pool, it's a map puddle.
I think with stats-wise, their best map in win percentage is lower than Luminosity's worst map in win percentage, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So no matter what, Luminosity just has them beat on every single one of these maps. Now, miracles can happen. Luminosity has shown in the past where they might stumble early on. Luckily, this is round-robin format, which I believe brings the best team out. So, I'm really excited to see what happens here.
Well, look, we've talked a lot about Luminosity. Let's try and focus on Renegades a little bit. Let's try and see if we can find... I'm not going to ask you.
Okay.
I'm not going to... You can tune out for 2 minutes, just have a break, okay? But Moses, let's try and find something good to say about Renegades and how they can maybe have a chance on either of these maps.
The beginning of this year, Renegades actually looked much improved from the end of last year, and even stretching in towards now, where they've gotten more... their tactics, especially on T sides, have gotten a little bit more polished. They're a little bit more structured. They actually have, deceptively good... You wouldn't expect this out of them. Good use of utility when they execute on the bomb sites. They're very much like a slow progression team, especially on Cobblestone, where there's, they'll spend their time just waiting far back, seeing if there's going to be any aggression, but they'll slowly kind of work towards that B platform for an execute. And they're so good at using their nades to Molotov, clear out positions, and be able to look other ways, just systematically take over a bomb site. So, I mean, that's one thing that we're going to have to see if they can do that against Luminosity on Cobble. That's going to be their big strength.
I want to add something that goes to their strength right here. This is probably coldzera's worst map out of all the maps that he plays with Luminosity, and he is the best player in the world. So if this is his worst map, then there's a chance that they could capitalize on that.
Yeah, but there's so many pieces outside of Cold on this team. That
that's what I'm just saying. That's one maybe good thing for them.
Yeah, the silver lining, so to speak. This is going to be really rough on him, especially because the other big question is we just spent a lot of time talking about Fallen as an opper. Cold, even though it's one of his weaker maps, he's also a very good opper. I mean, Renegades has Yam as an opper, but it's not like he's going to be any kind of world beater. So I think they are going to struggle at times to be able to. They're going to have to use that nades, where I said they're so strong with, to neutralize that op.
No, I think it's important. We've talked a lot about Sponge and the pressure he's under, but Renegades do have a star player. They got JKS, right?
I think he's one of the I would say honestly he's top 10, not world. NA.
All right.
Because I saw
Why did you build that up? Why did you build that up?
He looked at me. He's like,
top 10 on what? Your list?
In North America.
List?
What even is
think
this?
Within North America, he's already proved on a world stage that he actually is a top player. I personally think he's top 5 in North America, but who's asking me? I'm just a streamer.
Well, that's the thing. You have to look at. Just
Why am I
wrecks
here?
himself.
I'm asking that question now, buddy.
I mean, okay, so JKS and Azar are supposed to be like the main stars of this Renegades team. They're supposed to be kind of the Cold and Fur of Renegades, the two players who can really go off and explode for you, that explosive front line. And they haven't taken that next step. I mean, they've both had like really good potential, really good tournaments here and there, but it's the consistency that comes into play, right? Because if they can do it at one event and you start saying, okay, now we can start relying on this guy to do it, and he drops on for the next one, then all of a sudden you're lacking in that firepower. So these guys just need to find some consistency, take that next step to a bigger level, and become the stars of this team, because they are positioned.
I want to add that.
Just
last point is I think Yam is actually a very talented opper. I think he is a top 5 NA opper, and I think he has what it takes to maybe out-op, maybe fall in certain situations, but then you got to worry about another op in coldzera. So
this guy's insane.
I definitely do think he's a top 5 hopper. I'm just going to put that out there.
That point that you just made there was on my top 10 list of great points. Anyway, we're going to go to a documentary about Fallen. We've been following him around in Atlanta so you can get to know more about this captain.
Fallen is our in-game leader. He's our technical mastermind.
Still another 8 seconds left. Fallen pushing around. He gets the shot. The captain of the Brazilian team. What an absolute madman here in the finals.
I started playing when I was 12. I was 18 or 19 when I got invited to play on the best team in Brazil.
His personality shines so much and he helps so many people and he's just so good for esports.
Besides that, he's also one of the most amazing uppers in the world.
Totally effective, actually. Fallen gets the shot onto Flaming. Even spots the man. Good night, Zeus!
He can just pull brilliant plays out of nowhere.
Fallen is just ice cold. He's not even moving from this angle. And there's the shot.
Fallen is really punishing him this game.
It's very important for me to be the game leader because I can play better this way. This fits way better for my style. I like to be a supportive player. Doesn't matter if I'm going to be the best player or not. For me, it's part of who I am and how I got here.
If I had to pick a role model, I'd probably pick Fallen.
He's just a good person and he's very dedicated. Overall, he's the complete package.
Fallen, the godfather of Brazilian Counter-Strike.
I think what that promotional piece there has made me realize this guy's got like a million nicknames. It's like the complete package, the Godfather. It's unbelievable. But I tell you what, he's earned every one of them.
Yeah, he really has. Just we touched on it so much earlier. Just the way he leads this team, the way he brought them up out of nothing, and that I mean, you joked about him being a male model, but look at everything that he's able to do. I mean, even players in other top teams are just saying this guy's incredible.
Yeah.
He leads organizations, leads teams.
Hey,
best offer.
I don't know one person that dislikes him ever. Like, tell me some guy that says Fallen's a douchebag or something. I don't think it doesn't exist.
Gotta worry about a guy like that.
Actually, yeah, it's almost scary because he's actually the nicest human I've ever met. Isn't that weird?
Well, yeah, but you know, look, being nice is one thing. This is a whole new start, opening day of the league. There could be some jitters, there could be some nerves. You know, you got to bring your A game and start strong. You think they're going to be able to do that?
Well, one thing that we have seen Luminosity do, you know, going back towards Austin, I mean, they've taken a couple little gambles in terms of their map pool and maps they want to play. It didn't, with the randomizer the way it works out here, it didn't quite work out that it punishes them. But they are willing to take some risks to test some new things that they've been working on, especially when it comes to like a map like Dust 2 that they're trying to put in their pool.
Yeah, and I think it's worth mentioning as well, just in case people at home didn't get that. It's you ban 2, and it's a blind ban.
So you can ban the same.
Yeah, so you can ban the same. You don't even see what your opponents are banning, and then you get a random map from what's left. And I think it's been pretty kind to them in this case, but it was always going to be against Renegades because really, I can't think of many maps that they're not going to be able to beat the Australians on.
100%. Yeah. I agree.
So I think first up we're going to see Cobble. Luminosity have had some phenomenal results on this. They kind of reinvented the meta around this map, and they just seem to be playing it to a level that no one had really done before. And it's been one of their strong maps for them moving forward. It's been one of the things that they've been able to consistently win on against the best teams in the world.
Yeah, I think actually this is a map that I actually, of the two maps that we have, Cobble and Train, this is a map that I think Renegades has a better chance on than Train, obviously. We saw a little bit of a struggle versus Luminosity recently on this map where, you know, they've been relying a lot on this double op setup that they've been running on the defensive side of things, and it didn't work out too well in Cobble. So Renegades, if they can rack up enough T rounds, they can at least give themselves a chance going into that second half. So I don't think it's quite out of the realm of possibility that this could actually be closer than people expect.
Also, Luminosity loves to gamble they love to buy scouts when they can't afford guns or mag 7s and stuff like that. So that could be something that gets them in trouble early on, but I don't see it to the point where it's gonna give Renegades a way back in.
I mean, a lot of people as well are talking about this kind of shift, that it is more T-sided just because of how wide the map is, and you've got these like huge rotations you have to do to get from one side, and by then the terrorists have dug in, and it's incredibly hard to get them out of their positions. Renegades aren't known for having particularly strong T-sides. I just think that's a problem right there.
Yeah, it absolutely could be. It is going to come down to those critical rounds where Renegades needs to have some advantages early on where they can, you know, beat up on the economy of Luminosity so they can give themselves some positives going forward into the rest of the half. It is going to come down to things like those first 2 rounds of this half, the 4th round. If they can do damage or even win some of those, keep the economy low, then they'll have at least an easier time moving forward. But the good thing for Renegades is because they have that more passive, slow-paced style, a map like Cobble on the CT side, there's there's not a lot of places on this map where you can gain information as the counter terrorist. There's not a lot of places you can push up and kind of have some kind of indication of what's coming at you. So in that way, at least Renegades has a little bit of a cushion to work with.
Yeah, and Mo, I'll bring you in because there's a specific area of expertise. Obviously, in your career,
there's a lot of areas of expertise.
Your illustrious career.
Shoot.
You used to use, obviously, the AWP, the AWP sniper rifle. And I was listening to Anders, one of his theory crafting videos that he makes and puts up on his YouTube channel. I think it was on one of those. And he was talking about how like the AWP can sometimes be very easily neutralized. It's a map where it's not always an effective weapon. So
it's a lot less effective in this version of CS than it's been in the past, mainly because, you know, smokes, flashes, the angles aren't the same really.
But I mean on Cobblestone specifically.
Yeah, Cobblestone specifically, I honestly think the AWP is still useful. Maybe not a 2-AWP setup, I think that's a waste. I think the key here is to keep your AWPer moving around, always. Never have him in one spot, because that's what keeps the other team guessing. You could have him at A halls, you could have him at that little danger area, at middle, and then even at B sometimes, but never just keep it stagnant in one spot, because that's when they know that you don't like, that AWPer doesn't like to move around, they could take full advantage of that.
Is that a tendency that Luminosity have?
They're going to move the AWP around very, very much. I mean, they're going to have no problem with that, especially if they want to switch things up and have cold AWP a round or two and then fallen AWP a round or two. You can get different styles in there and mixed up. But the AWP can be tough. It's mostly because, you know, coming into each bomb site as a counter-terrorist, there's just really narrow choke points into both one. And if a team gets in really, really quickly, really explosively, those choke points are going to have Molotovs, they're going to have fire all over the ground, they're going to have nades raining in. So as an AWPer, you always feel very uncomfortable being mobile across the map to the other bomb site.
All right then, guys, we're ready to get this show on the road. Enough of us yammering on. Let's see if Yam can come up big for Renegades. We're now going to do...
There it is.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's why I get the big money, right?
Why.
Anyway, we're now going to do our map fly-through so you can see the terrain of Cobblestone. That's brought to you by our partners at Arby's.
Beautiful.
Right, well here we go. We are going to head into the game. It's Cobblestone as our very first match between Renegades and Luminosity. So we are just about ready now. It is exciting and it's going to be one hell of a game for Renegades if they're going to end up winning it. Even though this is one of their best maps. I mean, as the panel has already pointed out, Semler, this is going to be an uphill struggle for them.
Well, this entire tournament is going to be an uphill struggle for Renegades. They have a lot to prove. I mean, it's been brought up as well on the desk that both of these teams kind of had a similar path, right? Coming from areas in the world where there wasn't a whole lot of competition. They both moved to North America. Luminosity thrived and became the best team in the world. Renegades, they've been struggling since to really have that impact and to show us those results that we've all expected, you know, since the beginning of last year. So right now, it's all on them. I think the pressure is on them to come up big, and it's on the T side as well. So they're going to be the ones setting the pace here.
Yeah, so there's actually a counter boost that's happened. This is FNX being boosted up in a position he's not supposed to be in, and he did get the kill on Azure, and that's a fantastic start. A really big risk. It's very common for the terrorist side to check for that particular counter boost, but this time they forgot to do it, and it punishes them really hard. Now they're down a man, and I think even Luminosity have a very good read on what's happening right now. They know that JKS is in this position, because Fur has already been out there in the middle to check it, so Renegades are going to have a hard time coming back into this first round.
And this is exactly what you would expect from a team of Luminosity's caliber. They're not going to let Renegades set the pace. They're not going to let them get control of the map. Instead, they go aggressive in the first round of the map, saying, we actually don't respect you. You need to make us respect you. We're going to come and take the fight to you. And now that we have the edge, we have the advantage, we're making you sweat because we all fall back to the bomb sites. No more free kills here for Renegades.
Now, I have no idea. Luminosity are taking a risk that they're not supposed to be taking right now. They could just stack evenly in the bomb sites, but if Taco goes down, then the rotation is going to be really long for the rest of Luminosity to get to the B bomb site. I'm not sure this is going to be worth it here. And Renegades, they might actually have found a really good timing. Taco going to bring down one, but JKS, great follow-up, taking down FNX, and now it's a 3-on-3. They're going to get a bomb count out of this. Renegades are doing a really good job right now.
Yeah, Sponge makes his way onto the site, and now it's down to the retake here from Fallen and Fur, but that smoke going off, it's actually going to help Fallen. He gets the drop on Sponge, misses the shots, though. So a bit of a wasted opportunity there. He's down to 7 HP, Fallen. A lot of this is going to come down to Fur, and Sponge gets a knife kill in the first round of the tournament. What is this? Chaos in the end on the site.
Well, all right then, Captain Australia, just making that one work. I can't believe it. They must have had, I might have missed what information Luminosity thought they had to make that rotation to A, but the normal setup for this map is you having 3 or even sometimes 4 people in the B bomb site just by default, and then one guy hanging around A and trying to get some information. They got the early kill, so now it makes even more sense for them to have sort of a good stack towards B, and they somehow failed to do that. So they must have had information that we just don't know about.
Exactly. It smells of anti-strat to me.
Yeah.
You know, Fallen maybe thinking Zeus, maybe thinking, right, you know, this is their favorite kind of strategy that they want to go for. We're going to try and set up to counter that, and instead they get punished on Luminosity's side. Now it's up to Renegades. They have the guns. Great pop flash right in first face, but nobody checks the angle. Fur, he's in a great spot to do massive damage, but they do turn around just in time. He only gets the 1 kill. How does that even work?
I think just as he's fired that CSET 75 pistol, he actually got flashed, so he couldn't even follow up on it. That's just really dumb timing. But this will be a bomb plant, and there's almost no way that Luminosity could do anything here. I'm not quite sure why they're running away. Normally, you'd want to do this if you had a lot to save. They don't have any Kevlar vests. They have an upgraded pistol. Taco's got the 5.7, but apart from that, there's not a lot for them to save right now. You could even see sort of the combined value on their team is $700. I mean, maybe they could find a gun somewhere, but I'd rather they stay and look for exit kills.
These are all details, right? They want to avoid Aza. They do not want to feed more kills to that SMG. The SMGs in this game will give you more money than a pistol kill or a rifle kill. And so when you notice your opponents don't have Kevlar, exactly, that's why Aza's hopping around like a rabbit right now looking for kills. He wants to make as much money as possible off of this gun. So he already has 3 kills with the MAC-10. That's a lot of cash in his pocket. But going into the rounds, well, no luck for FNX either. He gets taken out by Yam. But going into the further rounds, that $1,800 that he made bonus could actually come back to haunt Luminosity.
Yeah, not a great kill for at the end there, jumping with the Galil, but it did work, and that's all they're really interested in. So a really good start here for the Australian side. After what I would have to consider a missed call for Luminosity. And we were just hyping up how good Fallen is. I don't think that was sort of misplaced hype, but I mean, that kind of call could really come back to haunt them. Now, there again, with just pistols and no armor, there's going to be the 4th round that they'll be able to buy anything in. So this is just about sort of doing some damage to Renegades, see if they can't steal a couple of rifles or maybe force them into some sort of bad situation. But 9 times out of 10, Renegade should walk away with this one. It's a clever boost, though. Creative boost.
Yeah, it's just that information that gets gained. I mean, this Taco actually has a P250 as well, so it is worthwhile. Upgraded his pistol, so he'll do a little bit more damage long range. Renegades, they're taking their time with this. Straight default round, and that means that they're just kind of holding against all the points that the counter-terrorist side could push. So they're just basically waiting to see if Luminosity are going to get cheeky and try and go for some kind of crazy play here in this round, try to push them anywhere, but it doesn't look like it. Luminosity, obviously, with the setup, the 4-man stack on that B site, all they're going to do is sit and wait for Renegades to come knocking.
Yeah, what is good fun is you can obviously tell that if anyone does jump off the balcony or off the plateau here and goes into the B-bomb site, then they will be faced by 4 people at the same time. So there's actually 4 people here ready to jump out. The problem is, if Renegades are clever right now, they use grenades to check these common spots instead of just walking in. And you can tell how cautious they're being already. You steal over with a good shot there to take out Fallen. And you see 1 engagement and they're falling back. This is smart play.
He spotted 2 people, and he spots, I mean, Taco being boosted up there also means that somebody is standing obviously under Taco. So Usilla gets a lot of information as far as the setup is concerned for Luminosity there. He sees just how many bodies are there, and so he knows that this is a hard eco. Just call instantly for the rotation, go towards that A site, get that bomb plant for free, and really don't risk giving up any free kills here to Luminosity. And as I say it, first, with the USP, instant headshot on Usilla and drops him. That's actually a Galil. No, he had a P90. Okay, so FNX will be able to pick up that P90.
Yeah, which is actually great because they can use that. They don't even have to throw that away. That's a valid weapon to have in the 4th round. Taco hiding behind the rock here, as not going to get any more MAC-10 kills, so already a slightly expensive round for Renegades here, and JKS will take care of FNX at least, so Taco and Fur are left. Maybe Fur could pick up another kill here. That'd be a bit annoying for Renegades.
He's been spotted out, putting shots with the USP. With those silencers, you don't see the tracers, and so it's a little bit hard to make out where he's coming from, but they do figure it out eventually, Renegades, and Sponge is taking out Taco in the meantime. JKS will find the kill on Fur, and the first 3 rounds, everything going according to plan here for Renegades. They pick up the pistol round, so they get to buy the guns early, and then they farm up the next 2 rounds in preparation for this one, where Luminosity, wow, Luminosity, they are not messing around, Anders. Straight double up from them in the first round. So the hard eco, basically, them not even investing in Kevlar, it's all about getting as many nades as possible in this first buy round for themselves, but also it appears the double op setup right out the gates.
Yeah, and you know, Mo was bringing that up, that he felt one AWP is definitely a good investment on this map, but two of them probably a little bit too much. And I'm tempted to agree with that. I think it's difficult because you also often end up retaking, and it's hard to do. And look how much speed is behind this Renegades. They're just charging in, but Cold already picking up one. There's SFNX with a follow-up. LG, they're having a really tight defense, and Renegades not going to make it through this time. JKS all alone. He's going to go down. I love the change of pace. I mean, that's designed to catch Luminosity off guard. And against a double AWP setup, it could have actually definitely worked. But when both the first kills in that round go in favor of Luminosity, I mean, what could you really expect?
Yeah, Cold, key, from Chicken Coop. He picks up the first kill with that AWP, right? And that just puts a wrench in things for Renegades right off the bat. They have a lot of difficulty just, recovering and trying to pick up that momentum to get onto the site. They did get a kill on Taco, but by that time, the damage is done. So, I mean, I do appreciate Renegades, trying to go for the change of pace. Obviously, after they played the first 3 rounds really slow, they're trying to teach Luminosity, hey, we're going default, we're not playing fast, we're going to take our time.
Look at the Swedish influence coming into Renegades here. Sponge and JKS right now setting up for some smokes that Nip actually designed, or maybe more accurately Threat from Nip, who's the coach, ended up designing. So those smokes are going to land in the B-bomb side, even though they're thrown from the middle of the map, and that might actually throw Luminosity off, even though they have 3 people over here. They're hearing them walk down here, Taco taking a fight, but coming out on the short end now, Fallen has to go big with this AWP. Close range, he gets the first shot. Oh no! He no-scopes and takes out JKS, and that is not what they were looking for. Now, FNX gonna get the follow-up kill on Yam, and it's up to Sponge. Try and win that fight. If he had, maybe there would have been a chance here. The bomb is down, but I don't think he can stop it from being defused. What a round, and Fallen, we did talk about his AWP style, and that's just terrifying.
It's the 5th round, Anders, and he's already doing this. What else is Fallen gonna do? That is nuts. You write him off as a dead man. If he's holding that close with the AWP, he gets that one shot off, and you're like, right, that's the one that he'll get, and then he should get traded effectively. JKS just gets annihilated. Fallen so quick. This is why this guy's getting so much attention right now, and there's even an argument to be made that he is the best opera in the world. He's just so fast and versatile.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Just to point out, that's obviously the weak spot of having a sniper rifle is when people get close and that scope is not going to be that useful. As soon as you unscope with a sniper rifle, what we call a no-scope, it's very inaccurate, it's very hard to hit shots with, and he did it anyway, so that's going to be just a little bit annoying, because they must have known Renegades that they had him cornered then, that was supposed to be just an even trade, which would have worked out fine for them. They did get a bomb plant, so they have a little bit of money, and they have upgraded some of their pistols, but without the body armor, they should not be around where they get more than a couple of kills at most.
Yeah, I'm glad that they elect to go for the half buy here, Renegades. They're just evening their money out so that in the next round they can go for the AWP on Yam. They can buy everything that they need, all the grenades for an execute. They've already shown us that they're open to go for the executes as well with that strat in the last round. That's the problem with that strat in the last round, though, is that if you have somebody holding close on B, when those smokes come in, but you're not hearing any footsteps, it's just like, okay, well, there's smokes, but I'm still not hearing anybody, so hold your positions on that A site. It does take a lot of time to get that strat rolling behind those smokes. So we'll see if Renegades elect to use it again.
Well, this time I think they're just playing for the bomb plant. They got the 2 smokes down, they got some follow-up flashbangs. I think they just need 1 kill here and they could get the bomb plant down. I don't think they'll win the round behind it, but, it's still an $800 bonus for everyone on the team, win or lose the round. So that's definitely going to be a good time. Cold Sierra, again, back here by the chicken coop. Fallen taking a kill before he goes down, but Yam can't do much with this Deagle. It's definitely a good pistol, but they've got him cornered up here on the plateau, and it will be Cold Sierra picking up a double kill and equalizing the score as well, making it 3-3.
Yeah, and right now it feels like Luminosity after the bumpy start with the pistol. Everything is kind of just restoring order here. 7-0-3 for FNX so far. He's just manhandling Renegades. We've seen some flashy plays from Fallen, but FNX, he is also a player that doesn't get as much attention. Cold, Fallen, everybody talks about them, but FNX is so consistently good for Luminosity. I mean, just quiet frags, but look at him. He's at the top of the scoreboard right now, just shutting out Renegades. So we have to keep an eye on him as well.
Well, the Australian side, back with the rifles this time around. They do have that and 3 Molotovs, which is very important for clearing out corners, including this one that Fur is holding. The only thing is that Cold Sierra is on the crossfire, so when they peek this corner, they're going to be all focused on Cold Sierra, and they might just forget about that corner. That's all that LG want right now, but JKS, he did check it, but still couldn't win that fight. He jumped into the angle, and his aim was just a little bit off there. Cold picking up crossfire, working out great right now, and oh no! Has to run away in the fire. Or Azza almost going down.
That was so close, and he nearly got the drop on him as well. FNX not going to have any impact, but now Taco He's closing off that angle so that Aza has to walk into his crosshair. Ustillo is taken out Fallen. So they are actually bringing this back to a 3-on-3, but Taco, he will not get caught off guard by Aza. Finds that kill, and so it's just a man advantage now for Luminosity going into this. Ustillo, though, he does work. I mean, this is what is necessary. You need players like Ustillo now to come in and just win those duels straight up. Renegades lacked that firepower in the past. Ustillo showing that he was worthy, to join this roster.
Well, look at the lack of respect on Fur. He just charged with the smoke. Cold Sierra gonna, again, almost point-blank range, take out Ustillo, and now Yam alone here. The AWP, if he misses a shot, they're gonna know where he is, and probably he's gonna end up going down. This is a very, very risky position to be in. He walks forward, and Fur, strafing away, ends up getting that frag, and Luminosity will win the round.
Yeah, tough timing there for Yam. Fortunately, he just barely misses them as they went past.
Fur on the camera here that we just saw, and just to point out again, running through smokes like that into a bomb site is very risky. If someone had been spotting it, he would have probably been dead. So, bit of a risk taken on his part, but it works out just fine.
I mean, as Luminosity chain rounds together here, now they've put 4 in a row. So long as Renegades can continue getting bomb plants, they will be able to continue buying. So we see them they're scraping the bottom of the barrel here. They at least have the rifles to work with, but they don't have many nades. So I'm curious to see if Sponge is going to call for a bit of change of pace here, try and go for the aggression again, straight out onto that B plateau. They seem to know that, well, one op is at least holding on that B site, but it's not going to be the case this time around. It looks like Renegades, they want to go towards A. See if they can't put some pressure on those apartments, and right now it's only Fur holding over there, so Renegades, they've actually made a good call here.
Oh, if they could get the kill on Fur. They have him sandwiched in. He's very close range here. Fallen's taken down one. Fur gonna go for the fight, and still a 2-for-1 trade here, so Luminosity coming out ahead in this early exchange.
Spotted the bomb, though, and we see that rotation coming out. FNX, he's already there to support Fallen on that A site. And now Renegades, they've kind of been whittled down already. Aza, he's alone over on B. He's looking for the pick on the rotator coming over for Luminosity from that B site. But as long as that smoke stands, exactly, he's blind. He's just got to sit here, cross his fingers, and hope that he'll get lucky and catch Taco off guard. But Taco's holding very passively right now. Not even an angle here for Aza to take advantage of.
And this is very difficult right now because they'll have so much advanced warning if this A attack comes through, and as long as it's not happening, they are ready to rotate into the B bomb site. And with Cold Sierra again in the back line there by the chicken coop, it's going to be so hard to root him out. They do have one incendiary there on JKS. That might be the only tool that could get rid of Cold Sierra right now. Otherwise, they might lose just too many members trying to peek him. That's a great headshot from Aza, taking down Taco, going into middle and facing Fallen, and he comes out again on the bottom end of that one, but that's a fantastic shot. Yam taking out Fallen, and now Cold has to retake with the AWP.
That was the must-hit shot with an AK as well. Yam showing that he can even go to work with the rifle and not just the sniper rifle. Cold has been spotted though, so now they know where he's coming from, and this should be an impossible situation now for Renegades to lose. A 1v2 clutch. If Cold can pull this off, it would be clear, this would basically show why he's seen as the best player in the world, because this should not be possible. If Renegades play it well, they just have to sit and wait to basically for Cold to walk up and try and tap that bomb. They don't need to peek. They don't need to show themselves. They don't need to give a chance for Cold here to find a kill. And Cold, he seems to know this as well. He's just waiting, hoping that they make a mistake, but it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, very, very smart play. Might not seem all that eventful, but just the fact that they're not giving him an opportunity, because you'll no doubt see that later on. As soon as you give just a single chance here, even a tight round like this could get out of control. He will save the AWP because it's a more valuable rifle. But a good round here for Renegades. And we should just bring out the map balance as well. Obviously, this is important. You are amongst equal teams here. Normally, you'd get more rounds on the terrorist side. It's just a slightly terrorist-heavy map. So the fact that the scoreline is roughly, is tied right now, is a really good time for Luminosity. They're going to be happy about these 4 rounds already.
They've done, picking up that pistol, T-side cobble, that's the first step towards success on this map, because it gives you those 3 rounds. Now Renegades just need to start winning rifle rounds when Luminosity are geared up, and because of the rounds that Luminosity were able to chain together, they have enough bank to go right back to that double op. Cold, he did hold on to one of them, so not too big an investment here for Luminosity, but they have all the nades necessary, and you can already see, just throwing down an incendiary to buy a little bit of time here to slow Renegades down. The Renegades continue to show an interest on this A site, and there's 2 players here set up for Luminosity, but a third one is rotating over. That's Cold, not wasting any time. There's going to be both AWPs on this A site pretty soon here.
Yeah, and for close as well, and because Fallen's already made so much noise with that sniper rifle, all their focus right now is going to be at the top of that ramp and probably not close. So for last time he was in this position, he just had the C-set 75 and he couldn't do enough damage. This time, he's got the full M4, so we'll see if that's going to make a difference here. And they are setting up Renegades, and they've got all the smokes as well. They could definitely make this work.
It's going to be Cold setting up to help his teammates. Smokes are going down, and there you go. Fur, running shot. Cold picks up one as well, and it's just complete and total. Oh, man, what a train wreck for Renegades. They just walked right into the blender. Luminosity, Fur this time gets 2 kills, and Fallen does as well, and it's just massive damage. They just can't even hold.
Ustilo, best he could do right now is some damage to the CT side economy, which is still very important right now. He's got about 35 seconds on the clock here, and I don't know what to do at this point in time. I mean, it's hard to say if he should try and fight or save the AK. Again, they don't have a lot of money, Renegades here. In fact, they're almost going to be entirely reset, so being on the T side, maybe he should try and go for it.
He's hoping to be able to catch out the one man, and if he could have won that duel, he had a chance to run through connector, get over to the B side, and get the bomb plant. That was his one chance at winning that round there. So a good decision from Ustilo, but Taco wins the duel straight up.
I have to point out the setup that we're seeing here on the CT side for Luminosity is not a common one. Normally, they did start off with a normal setup this time. They had 3 people on B, a 4th one that was in connector that was Cold Zero really close by, and then they had sort of just the 1 man over at A, but they really quickly rotate that. Once they realize the rush is not coming to B, no one is just charging in there, then they actually put 3 people on the A bomb side, and that's not a common setup, and I don't think Renegades are maybe ready to adjust to it. They don't seem to realize that actually the Brazilian side are being very heavy on the A side of the map right now.
Oh, it's a timing thing that works out. Cold had rotated over earlier, then he went back to B, and then he came back to A just as the push came through. So I don't know if that's Cold getting a read on the situation, or if it's Fallen saying, hey, we need you over here right now, rotate. But everything seems to be working for Luminosity in those kinds of situations when Renegades are playing a slow kind of strat and trying to run down that clock. Every time they go for the execute, they just get slammed in the face. And once again, Cold is there to start things off. They go pushing out onto the B side, Renegades, but Cold is there to hold the line. Ustilo will find the shot on Taco, and he gets the follow-up on Cold as well.
And even steals the AWP. That's actually a big giveaway here in the back lines. FNX real close with just a pistol in hand, and he's going to go down. Not a favorable trade here. Oh, Ustilo, did he see the gun barrel? Fallen trying to push in here. He's looking at Ustilo's position right now. The bomb has gone down, and it is a 2-on-2 Fallen. He knows that he's back there, and he can't get out. If Fur comes out of plateau here, I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, no! Ustilo, that's a team kill, and Fallen going to take care of the rest. I don't know what happened, but we're going to need to see that point of view from Ustilo there. This is the nerves kicking in. He was wired so tightly. One little movement there, and it's a teammate that falls instead. Some friendly fire. It's not acceptable, is it?
No, especially after this. Look at this. I mean, 2 kills with the P250 against fully equipped players. That's hard to do for Ustilo. For him to get the team kill on JKS, train wreck. That's what I'm saying, man. Right now, Renegades are getting into these situations and they can't seem to capitalize.
Well, for sure, we're going to get the panels talking, or to the panel talking a little bit about it. But I mean, mentally for a team as well, just having that happen, and what could have been a really big win. They only had pistol to start that round with, and they almost managed to bring it back. It'll definitely leave a mark on the team, and now they got to bring it back. They got to forget that happened and try and make this push work.
Once again, there's a setup. HG goes out trying to help. Fallen not going to be able to come through for Fur. However, he does get the peek onto Yam. Just takes his arm off, and he's still alive. So no follow-up coming in from JKS. Instead, it's as a drop down. He gets FNX out of position. And now they've actually successfully split things up here, Renegades. Fallen, however, he takes out one of the wings, and now it's all on Taco holding the line here in connector, and he's just doing so much damage.
They still got to deal with Fallen. He's still alive with this AWP playing close range here. Gonna get the shot, and now it's a triple kill. He's looking for the last here, and it's Sponge. Could end up in a captain versus captain duel here. He does have the bomb, and that's super important right now. 50 seconds on the clock, and Sponge could play kind of a long game. He's going to walk in. Did he see the feet? I'm not sure. Fallen covering this angle. He gets a shot through, and Sponge barely living. He's going to go down a Cold Zero. Great communication, and a great round from Fallen once again.
Got to give it to Sponge, though, there. He was pre-firing the angle that Cold Zero came through as well, so he tried, he just didn't land the shot, but that was a great read on his part.
And we got to point this out as well. So the first fight, or actually, the second kill that Fallen gets is on JKS in the middle, and that takes out, as you were pointing out, like one angle of that attack, because otherwise, Fallen would have been sandwiched in between JKS coming from middle and the rest of that terrorist team dropping into drop and then running into the A-bomb side. So he got himself out of a really bad situation by getting that first kill.
Now Renegades trying to change it up once again, but it's Fur pushing aggressively out of apartments. He's going to go right into the flank. Now they know exactly what's happening here, Luminosity, that Renegades have gone for the all-out aggression. FNX in connector, picks up 2 kills, tries for the spray transfer, not going to get it. Instead, it's JKS shutting him down with the Tech 9. Takes Cold Zero to move in and actually, end the party there. But 8-4 now as Luminosity continue to extend their lead on this CT side. They are just completely shutting Renegades out of these bomb sites. There isn't a whole lot that Renegades seem to be able to do here. They're not winning the clutches, and that's the main thing. If they get one of these clutches to go their way, Renegades then can take control. They can, well, have an impact on Luminosity's economy, because Luminosity just keep having money to buy all day long.
Yeah, this is definitely turning into a very ugly first half here for the Australian side, and they've really got to be careful right now. If they can bring back and win the next 3 rounds, sort of end the first half at an 8-7 scoreline, then maybe we could have some interesting games going on, some interesting rounds in the second half. But if they continue like this, it's going to get real bad.
And now, well, again, change of pace from Renegades, but Taco is there, holding from the site itself behind Big Fox. He's looking for command to fall off plateau, and the timing works out for Renegades. They win that duel, but FNX is there to support, and he keeps challenging. Yam will be the one to find the kill, but a quick rotation coming out from Fallen, and he gets the backstab on Yam. So now a man advantage for the retake here. Luminosity moving on to the site.
Yeah, but where can Renegades go that Luminosity won't check right now? They have almost no positions left, so Azza, he almost has to take this risk. If he doesn't, then they're just trapped inside the bomb site. But if he wins that fight, there's at least a chance. Now it's all on JKS here, and we did talk about him as being a potential superstar on this Renegades team. He's gonna have to prove it now, but he's looking the wrong way, walking out into the open with the AK, going for the spray, and Cold just using that rock there to just dart around and ends up winning the fight. It's 9 rounds here for Luminosity.
It's duels like those that need to go Renegades' way. Azza, he's the linchpin up on plateau. Yeah. If he wins the duel versus Fur, and then JKS has support, and they can just lock down that site with a crossfire. Instead, he gets dropped, and then JKS is the one who he gets sandwiched. He's the one at risk. So it's those kinds of duels that Renegades, they just aren't able to win right now, and that's what's costing them this first half. 9-4 for Luminosity. Just a huge lead to have on the CT side of Cobble.
We're going to see if this can continue. Again, that double AWP setup has been so effective, and it's been kept alive as well. We always talk about it as being a potential risk, but they just keep it alive. And look at this, showing the M4, then re-peeking with the sniper and making it very tough for Renegades to know what's coming next. The follow-up flashbangs. This is LG just losing all respect right now for Renegades and going aggressive on the supposedly defensive side. Azza trying to make up for last round. He actually secured the B bomb side all on his own. This is amazing.
There we go. Seems like Renegades, they're starting to figure out, or at least Azza, they're starting to figure out that Luminosity are putting 3 players over on that A site early on. When they saw Cold, they're like, wait a second, it's usually Fallen over here. So that's a little bit of information that they were able to act off of. And Azza now with the quad kill, just shutting down Luminosity. We have to see if he can get the ace. I mean, Cold, it's actually at the point now where they have 2 players. Leave the 2 players on the side. Azza, you know, do something for yourself sometimes, right? Just go out there, hunt, get that ace, catch out Cold, and they're about to run into each other as well. So Azza, will he get the shot? Yes, he does. Ace for Azza, and that might be what changes everything here for Renegades. An individual play like that can get the team spirits going and can actually get them into this first half.
I'm slightly shocked that Luminosity didn't check the middle, because he gets this kill, so they know that he's there, right? And yet they don't check the corner as they come through. But this is a great sequence coming out of Azza, and you know, it really does have an impact on the team when one person delivers like this. I fear it's too late. If it's too late in the half for this to happen, this is obviously the 15th round coming up, so the last round of the half here before they switch sides. But this is already a big problem right now for Renegades. They're going to need Azza or JKS or someone else to step up like that for a lot of rounds now.
Basically, yeah. I mean, there's going to be a little bit of a pause as well between the halves. Time enough for Luminosity to catch their breath. Renegades, they just have to maintain the pace here. And well, they were going aggressive in the last couple of rounds. Now they've chosen to go back to the default setup. And that hasn't really worked for them so much throughout this first half. When Luminosity are given the time, they just do better with it. Whereas Renegades, they seem to start making mistakes. They start to seem to lose focus a little bit. So right now it is Renegades. 5 rounds on the board. Luminosity, 9 rounds. 15th round, the last round of this first half. And can Renegades actually get that 6th round? That's what it's all about. They need everything they can get going into the second half. But now Azza, the man who had the ace in the last round, once again playing that key position here in drop down. This is where you can cut that CT side in half, but Luminosity aren't messing around. 4 players set up on that B side. They're ready and waiting for Renegades.
Yeah, but they kind of do need that as well, because their equipment is just not that impressive right now. The Mag 7 shotgun is definitely good at close range, but the problem is if you're trying to retake later on, it might not work out that well. Great pop flash coming through here. I really like that one, but FNX close range here, gonna go for it. Sponge to take him out instead, tries for the follow-up, still gonna take down one, and Azza coming in with the kill on Cold Sierra. Taco gonna go down to Yam, and Fallen, the last man left here, and again with just an MP9, not even Fallen is that good.
No, it's a bit much to ask. Azza with the backstab shot there. 2 kills for him at the end of the round. And, well, it took them a while, but that was a showcase on how difficult it can be to hold that B site. Because once you give up a couple of those players, either if it's on the site itself or towards drop, the whole defense just starts falling apart because Cold, then you saw, he has to worry about 2 angles. He gets shot in the side, and then it just, you keep getting picked off. You're having to worry about all of these angles if you're on that CT side. And so Renegades finally, they get that opening kill, and that's what makes the difference.
Yeah, as predicted, a very, very tough first half here for Renegades. And when we come back, it's going to be the second half. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to head into the second half here between Luminosity and Renegades. And I mean, there was no one sort of trying to slip anything under the rug here. It was clear from the beginning, Luminosity were going to be a really tough team, and I think Renegades, they're just having a hard time right now.
That's where Sponge suffered, essentially, with Renegades. It's just the fact that, yeah, we got the pistol, we got 3 rounds, and then Luminosity are like, hey, but we got rifles now, and we will win all the duels, we will crush you. And so we're going into the second half after Renegades have basically taken a beating here in the first half. Luminosity, they're way ahead, they've got the 9 rounds, they finished strong in the half, and now they go into T side, where they will be on the offense, and Luminosity are so good on Terraced Cobblestone. They get out on that plateau. Taco, he works that space. He always seems to find picks. And then it's just everybody else coming through and trading effectively. Luminosity are just so good at trading kills when they go onto sites, so they always just eventually get there to get that bomb plant.
Well, unlike Renegades, the Brazilian side here being very aggressive in their pistol round. Look at this. They haven't actually stopped running from the terrorist spawn. They're all the way in the A-bomb site. Renegades, they put everything on B right now. This is a disaster right now for the Australian side. They needed a strong start here. They're even going to boost up to a different position here. Cold Sierra now up on the balcony, and JKS, he's got no chance of seeing that coming. What an incredible play here. Luminosity just absolutely catching Renegades off guard.
Well, what do you do now if you're Renegades? You cross your fingers and you hope that you're going to hit some sick headshots. Fur, well, he delivers one, and Cold took out another on the other side towards the A site. Yam will finally have an impact here. He picks up 1 kill on Fur, but there isn't really a whole lot that he can do. Even with the Kevlar, he will get overwhelmed. 2 kills for Taco, 1 for Fur, and 1 for Cold.
You know, so at this point in time, I think once you realize, you just got to type in the chat. You just got to type, we're not live, are we? Just pretend like you don't know.
That was warm-up.
Yeah, that was just warm-up, wasn't it? Because there's almost no coming back from that. Yeah, that's interesting. I kind of would have liked to have seen a replay of that round where Renegades have advanced warning that something is happening, you know, where they've got one guy spawning it, just to see what that round would have been like. That's a huge gamble to take, and actually, maybe when you're this far behind, you kind of maybe do need to take that kind of gamble. Just if they'd gone B, probably would have been around for them, wouldn't it?
Exactly, and that's the gamble, right? When we say a stack, we mean that they're just putting all of their players, all their eggs in one basket on one site, on that CT side, hoping that the terrorists are just going to blindly run into it. And unfortunately, Renegades, well, it just didn't work out for them this time.
Isn't there a children's story that's meant to warn, you know, people against that? I'm pretty sure there's like some sort of tale. Don't
this
do
isn't
that.
a fairy tale, Anders. This is reality. We are actually here in this studio.
People are getting shot in the face. It's definitely not a fairy tale at this point in time. But, they have gone for another stack, but I mean, again, it is the most common way to play this map, to have the majority of your team in the B bomb site when you're on the CT side, so we can't really fault them for that. I think, again, Luminosity, you could see, and we were pointing this out when Renegades were on the terrorist side, they're playing very defensively here, Luminosity, and there's no reason for them not to do that. Just take it slow.
Well, taking it slow. I mean, Luminosity, they've ticked down a minute off of this clock, and it's time to go. Bomb makes its way through. As at their point blank with the CZ-75 will pick up 1 kill, and it's just trades all over the place. Renegades, in fact, they've dropped the bomb out in the open. It's on Fallen now to come through with this Galil, and he's lost his teammate, so it's all on Fallen now. 1v2. He knows that there's a player on the site, and he knows that somebody's backstabbing as well. If he can make his way through the doors into Connector, he can get onto the A site, and he's even going for the bait, hoping to catch somebody out in the open, but the game is up. He tried to pull a fast one there on Renegades, hoping that somebody would try and run after him into Connector. But Renegades, they played it very well. They did not fall into the trap.
All right, then. So that's a really big turnaround. This is one of those rounds that have a big impact on the outcome of this game. Luminosity, I'm not sure I agree with this. See, they're feeling so confident themselves right now. They're saying, we'll just go for Tech 9 and armor and buy up. They're using almost all their money on this. This is not just evening out the current economy. They're actually spending almost all their bank on this one. Wanting to break Renegades early is probably a good idea, but this could definitely backfire hard on them.
Oh, that HE follow-up did so much damage to FNX and Fur. They aren't going to spot anybody. They're just getting annihilated here. Cold Zero will be able to bring it back. He takes out Astillo. That was on Plateau. But that one combo of nades, that is why it's so difficult sometimes to rush when you're going through these choke points. A single incendiary nade, an HE follow-up, and 2 guys were already in bits by the time they actually got into drop-down room where Renegades were waiting for him. So just a brutal start for Luminosity when they did take a risk here. They did try and go for the all-out play where we're just going to spend all of our money and come right back at you, which is something that Fallen is talking about, right? You know, he is looking at different ways to become less predictable, and that is one of those ways, going for a random force that might catch Renegades off guard.
Yeah, and obviously the payoff is, and actually they can still do a lot in this round. I mean, they still need a couple of kills to make it work, but there's one of them, Fallen, going to be taking out Yam, and a good reply from Azza. As long as they don't lose anyone else here, I think Renegade's still going to be quite happy about this round, but we should point this out. When you're playing on the CT side, one of the worst things that can happen is if you start to have a bad economy. We saw how Luminosity had that double up setup alive for almost every round. It was only at the end that it sort of broke down and they had to get the max 7s. But, you know, if you're a CT team and you can't afford smokes and Molotovs and just good rifles, things start to get really tough. So I think LG were just pushing that angle as well. You know, let's try and make sure that they don't have any money. Not working out, though.
Not working out. Cold is still in this, and he will spot out Sponge. Sponge on the plateau, but Sponge, he doesn't even need to peek anymore. Exactly. He calls out for his teammates. There's the team flash coming through, and it will help him out a little bit. Well, Cold not really going to be able to find that kill in the end. Sponge survives with 44 HP. So they are bringing it back here, slowly but surely. 10 rounds for Luminosity, 8 for Renegades. And while Renegades, now they're going to get a chance to farm up. Now's the time to go for the SMGs and try and make a little bit of extra money, because Luminosity, they have to go for a hard eco here.
Yeah, but they're not even doing that. I actually agree. They could have definitely had one guy with an MP9 or something just charging around. But I think this also says something about Renegade's sort of state of mind right now. They don't want to give anything up. Gotta say, I am impressed. Azza's got 17 kills. He's actually tied with Cold Zero right now for the top frags in the game. So that's quite impressive. Not many people can keep up with Cold. Yam gonna start off great this round, taking out one, and not going to be the single deagle headshot there, so great start for Renegades, and very aggressive one too.
Oh, what a shot from Fur, though. Rips Sponge's head off, and now it's still up aggressive. He's going to be able to pick up one bomb. Nice flash coming through, and actually that's going to cost him. FNX will eventually find that kill with the Glock. So it's now 3 players alive here for Renegades, and JKS lurking on the slope. He's going to spot out Fur. Easy kill for him. And now it's all on FNX, hoping to... Well, he's in the same situation as Cold in the last round, except that now he actually has a rifle to work with. But still, Azza's in the perfect spot to shut him out. Instead, it's the longest spray of his life, but FNX still finds a kill.
And that makes a really big difference here. The difference between getting 2 or 3 kills in a round like this is massive. Now Renegades have to spend a lot of money that they would have rather saved for a later round, so it's going to get tricky here. FNX still should not be winning the round, and indeed, he's going to be going down to Yam, but this makes them rebuy 3 rifles, 3 Kevlars, a lot of grenades, and it's money they don't really have, so they're still right at the limit, and Luminosity are fine with this, because they're going to be buying into this round.
This could come back to haunt them, actually, yeah. Just the fact that, I mean, all of their bank nearly has gone into this round now, Renegades, because of how expensive that last one was. And Luminosity obviously going to be spending everything up. Fallen doesn't even have an AWP. He goes Galil just to have a couple more nades to work with. Cold on the AK. Oh, still terrifying, so no worries there. But Luminosity, I mean, they're at risk now of Renegades catching up and tying up the score at 10-10. So let's see. It is Luminosity again. Taco going straight out onto Plateau, getting control, and he spots the boost early. So Renegades losing the element of surprise there with that trap.
That's a hard-hitting grenade, though, taking him out. Taco gonna burn alive from the follow-up Molotov, and some really good information for Taco early on, but when he goes down, it's not quite worth it. So Renegades off to a good start. If they win this round, Selma, this could be an interesting game all of a sudden. I'm starting to be persuaded by Renegades here.
It's all about mental fortitude at this point. They know they're the underdogs. They know that Luminosity are heavily favored to win this. It's all about delivering once they get close to that finish line, when they get up to the 14th, 15th round.
Hasn't that always been the problem, though, for these Australian guys?
Yeah.
That they've really cracked on the pressure. I mean, not even a lot of pressure, just any kind of pressure.
Just like, you know, we're not talking about like the Finnish hydraulic press or anything here.
No,
we're talking about, you know, a heavy school book, textbook.
That's it. Can't deal with it. No, it's true. I mean, they've definitely been proven to not quite be up to it.
I mean, those textbooks are pretty nasty, though. Just saying.
I don't know. Did you even go to school, Semler?
No.
I wonder sometimes.
I lived on the PC.
We've got the 5 versus 4 setup right now. 25 seconds, so LG cutting it very close right now. Almost no time to get the bomb down. They're going to have to get into the site and finally make it work. But Asa just a rock here, getting a double, looking for more. Fur trying to get that peek happen, just shooting at the edge. Ustilo, he's just not taking enough damage for this to be worth it. There's a good trade going in, but for 8 seconds, he just cannot win the round. It's simply not possible.
He's on 3 HP. And I don't think that Renegades should try and hunt him down. They should realize that he's in drop. So we'll see if JKS wants to get aggressive, see if they can't find the kill after the time runs out. But it's not going to happen because Renegades, I mean, that was smart. That was wise of the two Renegades players. They know that their bank isn't that big, so they didn't want to risk losing 2 guns just to hunt down the 1 AK that Luminosity are going to get the hold on to for the next round. So Renegades, man, they're playing very smart CS now, having swapped over to that CT side. The score is 10-10 now, tied up. And in this sort of situation, I mean, Luminosity should still be ahead considering they're on the T side, but Renegades are showing us something magical here. Asa, he's giving us the performance that's necessary to actually win against one of the best teams in the world, if not the best team.
Yeah, this is very impressive. And once again, Luminosity, they've gone not for a full buyout, but they did save the AK. They've brought some armor and some pistols. They just want to do the damage because they did kill 3 members of Renegade in the previous rounds, and they know that if they can keep the pressure on, if they can get every round like this, eventually Renegades will run out of money. So that's all they're looking for right here. Fur with the early shot there, but Cold Sierra ends up coming back for it. Good shot from Azure and JKS, and now they can run into the A bombs. The only one there to stop them is JKS, and he's doing a fine job right now. Cold going to be going down, and again, 3 members of Renegades ends up going down. So this keeps being worth it for Luminosity. There's no reason for them not to keep the pressure on as long as they get 3 or more kills.
That's going to mean that Renegades are always forcing up, that they're never going to have that big bank to fall back on. They can't go for that straight strategy or that risky, expensive strategy that Luminosity favor, which is the double sniper rifle, because that AWP costs you $4,750 every time you buy it. When you're getting, $3,400 for a round win, you can understand where you need to really just prioritize that money, save as much as you can so you can afford the sniper rifle. Yam doesn't even have one right now. So Renegades, they are in the lead now, 11-10, and well, it looks like Luminosity, they were trying to change up the pace once again, and Ustilo gets dropped down to 1 HP. Dodges that HE, lucky for him, and Yam will get boosted, but are Luminosity going to try and press forward onto the plateau? It's all about them trying to get access to this bomb site, trying to find an entry kill with Taco.
Well, a lot of Molotovs being expended here, and really none of them doing anything to Yam, who's still up on this plateau. Flashbangs come through, that they feel like they've checked this already. You're still going to be going down, but Yam is up there. It takes 1 and 2, looking for a third, but he can't get it through. Now it's a 2-on-3, and this time it will be a bomb plant. And Fur waiting on the other side, and we were pointing this out in the first half. Running through smoke is just such a risk. FNX to pick up the last kill, and Luminosity finally, after 5 rounds in a row here for Renegades, which is about as good. That's the longest streak that Luminosity had on their CT side.
Right.
So finally they put an end to it. And now, and this is the big win for Luminosity, Renegades just don't have the money to buy.
That's when you know that a team is on the T side is really working perfectly, right? Taco, no hesitation, no fear at all, just throws himself through the smoke onto the site, looking for that opening kill that he does find on Estillo. And then, well, yeah, you do have a wrench and a wrench gets thrown in things when Yam picks up 2 kills, but instantly Luminosity, they react to that, pick him off, and then just continue to pressure onto that site. They move together as a unit, so that there's never somebody, it never gets out of control on the CT side. Instead, they're obviously trading 1 for 1. This time it's Fur leading the way, not Taco, but it's a hard eco coming out here from Renegades. They haven't invested anything in this round, so Luminosity, they should be geared up to take the lead once again.
Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of call Estillo would have been making at that point in time, just on the radio there. Guys, around us lost, they're all here, and you're all in B. I mean, there's nothing they could do again. It's just a matter of taking a risk. And it's sort of a coin flip. You can't obviously know if they're going to go A or B, but if you spread yourselves too thinly and around where you only have pistols, it's sort of insane to imagine that you'd be picking up too many rounds anyway. So just trying the best that they can here, Renegades. And I mean, this is still too early to call right now, but LG do seem to be getting a little bit of traction in the later stages of the second half here.
Well, once again, it comes back to mental fortitude at this point. Renegades, they had everything going their way. They got those 5 rounds in a row. A lot of that off of the back of Asa, who's just been delivering. Now, once things get rough and Luminosity show that they still have some fight in them, are Renegades going to be able to bounce back? And it's a horrible situation here for Renegades as well. They just don't have any money, so they're gonna. It's ultimate pressure now because they have to go for another round of eco, and that means that Luminosity are going to get real close to that finish line up at 13 rounds if everything goes according to plan here in this round.
Renegades, they still just don't have the money. I mean, this is rough, isn't it? This is what we call a double eco. So they just 2 rounds in a row here, where all they can have is pistols, and we saw how tough it was. It's not going to get that much easier, even with the Mag 7 there on Yam. I mean, it's still a good investment, but it will get rough. The counter boost coming up though. Let's see if they're going to catch it. They are ready for it, as maybe a little bit too aggressive there.
That's that default setup coming in for Luminosity, covering all of the angles just in case Renegades choose to go aggressive. And so Luminosity, not skipping any corners. Yam, although he is trying to go for the jump shot, he's hoping, but that Molotov is going to come sailing in and he has to change up his position. And while Luminosity in the meantime, the push gets thwarted. Sponge trying to go for info, trying to go for a lurk. Not going to happen. The rotation now comes in for the CT side towards that A site because Sponge is dead, and that opens it up here for Luminosity to start pushing onto the B side.
Well, Yam and JKS, again, it's one of those situations where if they could just get a couple of kills, at least make this expensive for the Brazilian side, but they're going to come out of this round with every single member alive. Fur with the triple kill, and that really matters. It means even if Renegades start to win rounds now, they're going to have to win consecutive rounds to force the economy back for the terrorist side here. 13-11, and Luminosity only need another 3 rounds here on this terrorist side, and they're going to walk away with the first map.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see. This could have been a time to go for a tactical timeout as well from Renegades. Each team is allowed 1 timeout per map. And Renegades right now, when everything is on the line, you're going for the big buy here. Could have been a good time to try and slow down things a little bit, let your team, breathe without any pressure, without, the 20-second buy time, instead actually having a couple minutes to just sit and think about what they need to do here in this round, because this is where it's all riding on it.
That's interesting. Fallen boosting over the box there to try and see if he can catch anyone. Now, this is not a round where Renegades are trying to be up on the plateau there, but could have been worth it. Sponge will be going down early on, which is not the best situation. But if you had to lose someone right now, rather Sponge than Azur or JKS, I think.
I agree, and they haven't used that tree boost yet either, so Stillo, that's the first time that he's going to be up there. We'll see if it actually works. This might catch Luminosity off guard. But now that Fur's in connector and he's actually going to be able to wrap. Oh, this could all fall apart here. Fantastic shot from Yam though. Picks off Fallen on the plateau, but Fur, he's going to spot out Estillo, who's been boosted up. Estillo has no idea where he's getting shot from.
Oh, the communication is so late. Azur, he's going to win the fight, but you can tell the confusion there on the CT side. No scope coming in from Yam. He's going to take down one. He misses the shot on Taco, but JKS is there. No scope, not going to be the second time, and FNX is all alone here. Now in a 1-on-2. Grenade here might just take care of Azur. Yes, it will. It bounces off. The shrapnel going to tear him apart, and now it's a 1-on-1. 30 seconds here. No bomb plant happening. FNX is up on the plateau, and JKS is over in that drop zone, just trying to see if he can maybe find the right moment. And FNX, all the pressure is on him here. He's going to have to get the bomb plant down, and JKS, as soon as he hears, because you can hear that little beep when it happens, he's going to try and make the push work. Now 15 seconds on the clock, and he's just walking around the boost box here. Look how patient JKS is right now. Finally going to go for the peak, but now FNX, he has to hold it.
And he is going to hold it. No fakes here. Incendiary goes out. It's too far, and FNX, He realizes that the man is right there, standing in front of him, but FNX does not clutch it. It's JKS instead winning a key duel for Renegades. That's what I was saying in the beginning of this map, that they aren't winning any of the duels, Renegades. Finally, something goes Renegades' way. JKS delivers against the man who's supposed to win all of the clutches for Luminosity. FNX is definitely the guy you want to be, alive and fighting for you if you're Luminosity, because he always seems to come through.
Wow, any one little detail could have turned this round. Gotta give some credit to Yam as well. Those 2 kills happening over by the plateau were obviously important. Dan, yeah, tactical timeout actually being called here. Very interesting, and it's Renegades doing it on the back of winning a round.
Well, it's going to be tough for Renegades, just because of how close that was. I mean, a 1v1 clutch, guess what? You double ecoed before this just to have enough money to go for a full buy in that round. Now everybody died except for one. JKS, luckily, he should have been able to save the AWP there for Yam at the end, but it means that everybody's going to be forcing up again for Renegades. So they're going to be light on the nades. They're just going to try and figure out how they can juggle around their guns enough to get the people to gear.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, a lot of the time, you really, when you win a round, you don't want to have a tactical timer. You just want to continue, because now you're finally winning, and you might build something off of that momentum. This tactical timeout obviously works for Luminosity as well. They get a chance to think about what rounds have worked and which haven't, and then try and see if they could take a step further here. I'm not heavily against it. I'm just saying it's a risk.
I'm just thinking that Fallen right now needs to be telling his teammates, on these rounds at the beginning of the half when they were starting to get a little bit of a streak going, right, Luminosity, when they were successful, they moved in as a unit. That last round looked a little disjointed to me, honestly. I mean, yeah, there was that sick lurk out there from Fur getting through Connector and managing to get that drop on Astillo, right? But then he loses the second duel. But where's the rest of Luminosity? Going off that play from Fur, he initiates onto Astillo. Why aren't they all pushing out there? That allowed for Yam to have that element of surprise out on Plateau. And that's the second time now that Yam has caught them out on Plateau. So Luminosity, I think, are going to be trying to process all this, like, right, okay, so they've shown that they are willing to boost up on Tree. Yam obviously likes to get up on Plateau because he keeps catching us there. So how can we make sure that our incendiaries, if we use Molotovs to clear our Plateau, how do we get that right so that he can't, actually have that to use against us?
Well, all of that and probably much more is being gone over right now during this tactical timeout. Renegades, they really cannot afford to lose a round here. No. They don't have the money. If they lose this round, then Luminosity will bounce from 13 to 15, basically, because it'll be a clear round where Renegades just have pistols. And we've already seen 2 of those back to back, and none of them worked out for the Australian side. So everything here is kind of stacked against the CT side. They're going to have a hard time of it.
All right, well, the countdown has begun to get back into this. So they are allowed a 2-minute timeout. That has been used, and now we'll see, can they deliver as FNX in this clutch, and he had the angle on JKS as well. What a fantastic clutch for JKS. You can see the frustration there evident on FNX. He knows he had that. That was a duel that he should have won.
Especially because FNX is such a good clutcher. He's so good in the 1v1 when it really matters. Luminosity here, trying to see if they can maybe make it a fast round, even with the AWP. They're getting really close to the plateau right now, and we've got 4 members of Renegades on the other side. Yam, he got the fight here last time. He's going to try and see if he can do it again. If he misses a shot here, he's probably going to be going down. Look how close he is with the sniper rifle. This is madness. Jumping up, going for the... Oh, no! He hit that shot on Taco, and now it's a 3-on-4. I can't believe it. Renegades actually coming out on top in what seemed like a suicide mission from Yam. Fallen and Cold Sierra left now. It's a 2-on-4 here, and there is no bomb plant just yet.
And it's all on Fallen now. He has to deliver, and he gets caught out trying to make use of his nades to create an opportunity here, but that Molotov just might force him out into the open. Cold is waiting to see if a flank is going to come through, but no, everybody from Renegades waiting on the site itself. But there's the smoke to actually give them some room to work with here for Luminosity. And it's all about Cold making his way onto that bomb site now. Fallen doing the best that he can to hold the angles, but Cold, he has the bomb. He has to make the play eventually and get out here.
Fallen, one single bullet away from death here. He can't stay alive for very long. Ustilo going to take the kill. Sponge to follow it up. And Renegades, they're going to be back in this game. It's now a tied scoreline, 13-13, and now Luminosity have some tough choices to make. They had a bit of a bank on 3 of their members, so they can still make this buy work, but if they start losing rounds or continue to lose rounds here, they're going to be out of the bank as well.
What a sick no-scope from Yam. That's a split-second play there happening right before he gets taken out, and that made all the difference as well. The fact that he drops one, trades 1 for 1, it doesn't mean that Luminosity can get that numbers advantage to really try and put the pressure on Renegades. So fantastic work from the Opera, but now it's all on Luminosity. They do have the money to go for a buy. They have the AKs near full nades, but they just keep going towards this B site. And Renegades right now, they're just playing towards that. They keep stacking 4 over here because Luminosity, they haven't shown them anything anywhere else on the map pretty much. It's all action B, and so Renegades early on, they're setting up, ready and waiting in case Luminosity try to change the pace and go fast. Renegades are ready for them.
Yeah, good double setup here in the drop zone. Sponge and Azza both just ready to back each other up. JKS was down in the middle on the other side of the map just trying to get some information, but he hasn't really seen anyone yet. And how long are Luminosity going to wait? Because we already had 1 round, it was down to about 25 seconds, and it's so risky to do that. You do really want to push before 30 seconds.
I'm a bit surprised to see Luminosity just so, single-minded, focusing just on this one site. Yeah, that incendiary is going to hurt. Yam, though, cannot miss a shot like that. You have to get that free pick.
Yeah, now let's see if Taco is going to use what he's just given to actually punish them in this round, because he should have been dead. Definitely should have been dead in that exchange. Cold Zero will go down. Yam trying to make up for it, getting a good frag in there, and with a lot of damage onto Azza, he still wins that fight against Fur.
How does Azza find that duel versus Fur exactly? Fur, that's the second time now that he's fallen to Azza. So that's not acceptable here for Luminosity. They're down 2 players. They've only got 20 seconds left. And the nades, they only have a single flash on Taco to make their lives easier. So it's all down to the headshots. Fallen, trying to misdirect Renegade's attention over towards Drop, and well, over towards Link. And now it's actually FNX finding the opening kill onto Yam. But again, 7 seconds left. The bomb, it needs to make its way onto the site. Fallen gets caught. It's all on Taco, and he's run out of time. It's all about the kills now, and it's just not going to happen. Sponge survives, and Azza, insult to injury, gets the kill on Taco.
Yeah, and this allows us to introduce sort of a small technical detail, which is that if you die on the terrorist side after the clock's ran out, you're not going to get the loss bonus. So he loses the rifle, he loses the Kevlar, and he won't get any money to rebuy that stuff with. So this is a very bad position here. And I think what we have now is, in fact, a tactical timeout for Luminosity, who want to see exactly what's coming up, or at least it should be. But the money for the Brazilian side is just not there. Renegades, similar. How is this happening? How are they getting back into this?
So I'm wondering what the discussion is here between Taco and Fallen.
I think
Fallen
Taco was
calling
doing
out
the hand
Fur.
side that said chop him up, cut him in half.
Hit the cleaver.
Yeah.
I mean, we're the ones who are supposed to be, controlling the control, having the controls to the blender right now.
That's definitely a cleaver. Yeah, look at that.
Well, what he's saying is you guys just need to go. You need to go. You need to be quick, explosive. That's what makes a T side effective, is when the signal is given, get out onto that site, and there's no fear of dying. That's what Taco does. He just runs right through, throws himself in there, and he doesn't care if he dies because he knows he has Fur, he has Cold behind him, right? He has these guys who are supposed to follow up and trade frag, get the kills to open up the bomb site. We just aren't really seeing that right now from Luminosity. They've been struggling. And a lot of that has to do with Azza and Yam, both of them having a huge impact so far on this CT side.
We should point out as well, there's a definite correlation at the sort of top end of Counter-Strike between teams that are sort of at the top and very good at taking these timeouts, right?
Right.
Fnatic, Luminosity, almost all of them are very good at taking a tactical timeout just when it matters, and they start winning rounds behind it. So just that little bit of breathing room, a little bit of space to calm down, and they manage to make it work. And you always see the communication there is they're just all talking and getting in on what might actually bring this back.
What I'm wondering about is because Luminosity, they have the tactical experience to go towards that A site. When are they going to start doing it? We're seeing a lot of B from them. It's very straightforward. And Renegades, because they've seen nothing but B from Luminosity, they're able to cheat. They can say, well, actually, we'll just put 4 players over here every single time. We're not going to play default and have 2 over on A. We're going to actually have all of our defense stacked up, ready and waiting for you, and you guys just keep running into it. So where is Luminosity?
Yeah, and think about how easy it would be for them to take just a couple of people and challenge. I think mainly they have JKS on the A side of the map, so just take a couple of people, challenge JKS. If you win that fight straight up, it's great. Even if you trade evenly, he gets killed and you kill him, that's all you need. Then you're in a great position. So I do kind of agree, maybe it's time for Luminosity to look at the other side of the map here. They've almost tunnel visioned on this B-bomb side.
And they're doing it again. And maybe it's going to be in the next round when they change up. But right now, Renegades, again, 4 players here ready and waiting to shut out Luminosity. There's the smoke going down, and Fur just goes leaping in behind Taco. That's what we're talking about here for Luminosity. All-out aggression, get out onto the site. But they are actually managing to get this to work for them, Luminosity. It's a half buy, not even a full, and yet they have a 2-man advantage now.
Oh no, Renegades. This is not what they were needing. Sponge with a really good kill there, and this is so important. They need to get back into this round. They cannot afford to let it slip into the hands of Luminosity here. The bomb is planted and ticking away, but they're sandwiched in here. This retake is nearly impossible, and Fallen making sure it's not going to happen here. JKS now all alone, but he has to try and walk in and take it. It's not going to work out. FNX will drop him out of the round. 14-14, and Luminosity stilling around there. You got to say they probably shouldn't have won.
Yeah, that's brutal. Here I am sitting here praising like Renegades, the setup, it's so good. They're all hitting their shots. But when Luminosity, and that's the big difference maker, is that Yam, there was nobody holding close to plateau. So Fur and Taco, they just got right out onto the site and just took the fight straight to Renegades, where if you're rapping on the man who's holding on the site, you saw what happened. He gets shot on the side because he doesn't know which way he needs to look. Renegades changing up things that have actually been working for them so far. And now that puts Renegades on an eco.
This is heartbreaking, isn't it? Because they were actually making it work, but they just don't have the money to potentially close out this game. Now instead, they might end up going down. They have a great stack going on here. 3 members of Renegades, but Fur taking out every single one. And now, all on Yam, 1 versus 3 with no armor and just a pistol. It's obviously not going to happen, is it?
Yam gives away his position as well, so they know he's holding close. There's the incendiary to stop him from rotating into the little room, and instead, that bomb will get planted now for Luminosity. So Renegades, I mean, they took this round of eco because they're playing for overtime at this point. They didn't try and risk it and go for the win here short term, where they hope and cross their fingers that they can win here in the 29th round and then win 16-14, just win out. Instead, Renegades, they're sitting on pistols so they can buy in the next round and give themselves a good chance of getting into overtime.
I almost wonder, though, if they'd gone for that stack with pistols and armor in the middle, would it have made a difference? I mean, we could always speculate, but it's got to be at the back of their minds as well.
It's tough to say. But both of these teams are out of timeouts, so that's it. They can't just sit and talk. They have to get the job done now. And we have it from Fur's perspective, and this is just a full-on NA spray. Fur, come on. That Glock comes out at the end, and he picks up the, he picks up his second kill. But
yeah,
what was that spray at the start? Full-on panic spray.
It wasn't exactly pretty, but it did get the job done. Now, this is what they've saved for Renegades, and it's still not very impressive. Again, you got to look at the grenade count here. Not exactly optimal. 2 FAMASs, 1 UMP in play. They might end up losing this in the 30th round, the maximum rounds here that you could play in if you don't go into overtime, that is. But I don't know, this would be heartbreaking. Almost classic Renegades.
Yeah, exactly right. And look at this, Taco, he's gonna walk right. Yeah, holds the line. Sick job with the spray transfer. Lives with 5 HP. I was writing him off. I'm like, yeah. He's holding down mouse 1. This is a common mistake that you see CT side make, where they're just spraying into smoke hoping to get lucky, and the terrorists are waiting on the other side. He's like, great, I know that you're out of bullets now. I'll just run in on you. Yam somehow finds that kill and survives, though. That was huge.
And finally, Semler, we get to see an actual A push. This could be what LG have been looking for quite a while. Here's the opening shot for Fur, taking down Sponge, looking for a bit more. He sees the gun barrel there, FNX, and does a lot of damage. There's a Molotov, there's a grenade kill as well. Renegades, they're still in this, but it's Cold Sierra. No bomb plant here, and in a 1-on-2.
There's a spot. And now they have the information to go off of here, Renegades. They know that he's on the bomb site itself. It's Astillo and JKS, 2 heavy hitters here for Renegades. Can definitely count on him. JKS has already won 1 clutch for Renegades. So we have to see if he can pull it off here. Cold, though, so good, so quick. But Renegades, they're playing this perfectly. They are not showing themselves. They're playing it very safe, waiting for Cold to commit, waiting for him to step out into the open. And Cold, he predicts the play, but he's not going to get it. Renegades will clutch, and once again it is JKS landing the key shot. But it's 15-15, and we're going to overtime. Fitting, isn't it? First map of this tournament.
Well, of course it had to be, right? We're not going to be too sad about that one. I can't believe that. You see how he was, that's such a cool little detail, but you see how he's pre-aiming the angle. He takes the shot at truck first, and he knows the second player is going to come out of the double doors there. So just a very, very good job there on Cole, but it didn't quite work out. And Renegades, we were sort of questioning this. They did eco in the 29th round to come back and get overtime in the 30th round. Something that most teams actually won't do. Most teams will say, no, we're just going to fight for the win.
And it has everything to do with Mr. Savage right there. 3 kills in the key round, and one of them a clutch kill. That was all the big plays coming in from him. He ends at 24-3, 19 kills in regulation time. So now we have to see if if JKS is going to wake up here for this overtime.
Now, I would love for the panel to sort of talk a little bit about this as well, because actually a lot of the games that Renegades have played in the past, where they get pressured a lot when they're under a lot of pressure, something noticeable happens. That is Sponge just falls off the map. He puts all of his resources into calling and getting sort of the tactical angle in. This game he's been doing quite well, so he seems to be able to manage both, and I think that's important.
I think this has been such a long time coming. Renegades were one of the first teams to really commit to E-League. They've been focusing everything, living in North America, and that's actually something that needs to be brought up, is that this team didn't wait around in North America for the other teams to come and try and prac with NA teams. No, what they did is, before this tournament, it's so important, they flew to Europe to get the best practice possible, to train against the best teams in the world, apart from Luminosity, obviously, but to train against the best teams in the world in preparation for this tournament. So Renegades, man, they've put a lot of work into this, and it's paying off. They've taken Luminosity to the limit.
Yeah, now all these rounds come back. That one round, I think you steal it with the team kill in that 2v2. Like you start replaying those rounds in your head and thinking, man, if only we could have got those. We would have had, a 16-14 type finish. I mean,
exactly.
This is so close right now.
I know that's where it's real painful. But the countdown has begun, and just to be clear, it's MR3, 10,000 starting money here in this overtime. And so Renegades, they're on that CT side. It is so important that they keep this streak up so that they maintain their money going forward.
Yeah, on the CT side, 10,000, it sounds like a lot. So we could have a great night out if we had 10,000. But in Counter-Strike, it definitely is a bit of a limit. And they've already invested in the AWP, so Yam, he's not going to have that much left. They need to win rounds right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure now on Renegades to keep up with the streak.
Overtime in effect. FNX dropping very low here, trying to take a fight in the middle and coming out very badly on that side, but Sponge taking a bit of damage on the other side of the map, so kind of an even trade for either team. And Yam, does he see the feet? Taco is right there, and you see without the X-ray on, which is a really good feature to just remind people that they can't see where all the players are like we can. Fallen gonna be getting the opening frag, and look at Cold Sierra securing that A-bomb site. This is going to be rough.
Sponge, he's the man, exactly. Fur has no idea that there's a man waiting in danger. And so Sponge with the free kill to start things off, and now Luminosity, they have to be worried about the flank coming through, although they have Taco on a slow lurk looking for Sponge. Sponge gives away his position, though, shows that he's there, and he hits another shot. Sponge coming through big right now for Renegades, but it's back to a 2-on-2, and that bomb is planted. It's still ticking. Renegades are the ones feeling the pressure right now. They need to get on it and start defusing, and Estillo, he's just fully committing, and Fallen misses the shot. This is the chance, and Renegades will win 16-15, and talk about winning the key round.
I can't believe it. Sponge, he's the first man to take heavy damage on the Renegades team in that round. Down to 23, he picks it up with a triple kill and wins the first round of overtime. Captain Australia.
Yeah. I mean, he's been the spokesperson for so long, right? And he even got a haircut. I thought that he might have lost a little bit of it, his power, right? The Sponge, his hair, it's like Japanese tentacle porn. It's just all over the place, right?
He is a beautiful human being.
It's amazing.
It's gotta be said.
But, I was worried. He chopped it.
Oh no! The grenade collision there. He can't make it through. That grenade actually blocked him, and now Fallen is going to be going down in return. Luminosity, this is the worst start possible. Taco going to be charging in. He does take out Yam. Close range, goes for a follow-up spray and drops you Stilo. And Taco, he's mad right now. He's angry.
Where did this come from? There's Taco doing a huge job. Entry fragger at his best. 2 key frags to bring them back into the round, Luminosity. And the incendiary goes down. Taco, he gets a third in! And this guy's sitting on 30 HP. Could be pulling a bit of an Azza, but he will get caught. No, that was FNX caught out looking the wrong way.
Did he just do a 360 spin? I think he did.
This is an MLG. We are in North America, but come on.
Yeah, that's a bit ridiculous. Fur, that fire, is it going to spread to him? Not quite yet. If it does, he's dead. 1 tick would kill him, but I think JKS is not going to check the corner now. He feels like he already has with the Molotov, and he hasn't. Fur going to take a kill, and Sponge, it's all on him. This time, he has to clutch it. He picks up 1 kill, goes for a second one here. Cold Sierra behind the statue, just waiting, and Sponge, he's got the kit, just tapping it once, turning around, and Cold Sierra is going to be there. Luminosity, they will win the round in spite of an awful start. And Renegades, look, Semler, if this ends up in the Brazilian side, if they win this map, this is going to be one of the rounds they look at, because that was such a good start for them. Yeah. Kill Fallen for almost dead, and they still couldn't make it through.
With both of them on life support, I mean, Taco, what a magical round for him to come through on 3 big kills when he was low on HP as well with 2 of those. I mean, it's all about the individual plays, really, that are making the difference here for each of these teams. Azza for Renegades, JKS, Sponge, obviously, in the first round of this overtime. But that round was all about Taco. Now 16-16, tied up going into the last round of this first half of overtime, and it's Luminosity with the money for the full execute that they want to go for. It's Renegades, after losing that round. They have a UMP, they have an SMG, they have 2 weaker rifles to work with here, and hardly any nades to speak of, so it's all about landing the shots.
They do have the 4-man stack, but here come the Brazilian team as they're going to get the 1 kill in. Renegades, they're making this work almost flawlessly. Right now, Cold Sierra going to be going down. That's the bomb drop as well, and Asa going to go for it. That's a triple kill. What a round. He ends up at 31 kills. He's topping the scoreboard right now. Man, where does it come from?
That's what you need, and well, speaking with Sponge a little bit, right? He's so happy now that he has Astillo and Azza both. Astillo's been a bit quieter, right? But it's given Azza a lot of freedom because he doesn't feel like it's all on him. Between JKS, Astillo, Yam, I mean, everybody seems to be stepping up. But Azza in particular, he now gets to think, it's not all on my shoulders. You know, I've got guys behind me to do the work, and that seems to have just unlocked him. Now that he has that confidence, it seems to have just completely unlocked his capabilities.
Man, I'm very impressed right now. This is definitely, I mean, we did set up this whole match to sort of explain and to try to suggest that Luminosity were probably going to walk all over Renegades. That was the likely outcome. Now we're in overtime, and with Renegades winning 2 out of 3 rounds of the overtime on the CT side, that's a huge result. And maybe it's the economic reset as well. Think about how much they struggled in regulation on the CT side to have any kind of rifle. Now that overtime happens, they get the 10,000 starting money.
Yeah.
You know, we have a common friend that has a story about $10,000 and a good time in Vegas, I think it was. Maybe we'll hear that later on, but
sure,
it's certainly
time between maps.
It certainly got Renegades fired up. I'm not sure they spent it on the same stuff that Richard was doing, but still a good time, I think. But that AWP, also Yam buying 2 of them and playing close to the plateau. The only thing that I'm wondering about is I mean, he did eventually get punished for playing that close to the plateau, but it's so dangerous when you have the rifle with the AWP that close. He made the no-scope work the once, but I mean, later on, you see Taco just running him down.
Yeah, it's all about the angles, right? If Yam is holding up close, what he's hoping to do is basically catch them before they get through that arch out onto the plateau itself. He's hoping to be able to get a pick there and start falling back with the support of his teammates. And instead, Taco's allowed to just jump right out through the smoke, right on top of him. It's just too much pressure for Yam at that point to be able to consistently hit those shots. But this was a big play here, just sticking that diffuse. Pros don't fake. And Sponge, you have him there, man. Sponge, he always gets hype as well.
Well, you say that, but there was like there was sort of a huge period in time where he wasn't, where he didn't say anything at all, which I think is a real shame. I want to see hype Sponge all the time. Yeah. I think it's great. But we're going to go into the second half of the overtime here. Renegades 2 rounds away from winning this first map here in the E-League, and certainly that would be a really big upset.
That would be massive. I mean, hard to put it into words just how big of an upset that would be. One of the biggest upsets of the year so far if it actually happened, because Luminosity, they are not supposed to be losing out in this sort of situation. They're the ones who are supposed to come in here, manhandle the competition, take that first seed of the group and go straight to the playoffs. And if they end up dropping a map to Renegades, that is going to make it a little tricky for the Brazilians.
Right, especially because Renegades is widely considered the sort of the worst team in this group. Yes. So, you know, you start losing to the worst team, it sort of begs the question what happens later on. Luminosity, no surprise here, going back straight to the AWP setup, the double up setup, but it's expensive.
What makes me curious now is, considering the performance that we're seeing from Renegades right now versus basically the best team in the world, what's going to happen when they go up against the North American teams later today and tomorrow? That's going to be nuts. They could just completely steamroll them.
Yeah, they could, but they're also getting a chance to see what's up here. You know, maybe they would want to ban out Cobblestone. In fact, I'd be surprised if a lot of teams didn't, because we do know that this is one of the maps that Renegades do quite well at. And maybe the rest of them aren't going to be quite as good.
Well, the push is setting up here for Renegades. Once again, they chose to go very slowly. 30 seconds left in this round to get that bomb onto the site, and they're only just now starting. Renegades, this is one of the slower executes. They really are not giving themselves a whole lot of time to work with here. JKS with that Molotov delayed. He gets it right this time. No chance for somebody to hide back there. And Azza, he's going to get the flash on FNX to start things off. So straight into drop, looking for that split. And Taco boosted up, doing big damage. Cold is there as well with the AWP to pick up a kill.
Well, that's impressive. Taco, just a turret up on that boost. And it's going to be Cold Sierra to close out the round. Triple kill for him. It looked so good with that opening frag in drop, but they just couldn't follow up on a great play from Taco here.
Yeah, Taco, man, on Cobble as well, he seems to come alive sometimes, and this is one of those maps where he just gets his time to shine. T-side loves to play up on Plateau, do a lot of work there to open things up for the bomb site for his team, and CT side, he likes to get up on that tree, but he also likes to play Plateau. Similar to what we were seeing from Yam, you can expect Taco to get up there and try and challenge players, so we'll see if he goes for that here on their CT side in overtime. But it's tied 17-17, and if this is going to be the only, round of overtime that we're going to see, it's first team to 19 rounds here, so.
Yes.
Luminosity, they are capable, but Renegades, man, they're putting up one hell of a fight.
Yeah, we're going to find out now. Again, very defensive setup. Look how far away Yam is. He's actually all the way out in the open courtyard on the terrace side of the map. He's expecting that someone from Luminosity will come and look, and he was tempted. He wanted to do it. But right now, Renegades are just mostly wasting their own time.
Basically, just pause, sit, and wait. And well, if they make the same mistake as the last round, this is where Renegades just need to show some bravery, some balls. They have to get out there and just go for the fight, because if they keep playing default slow, it didn't work for them in the first half. If they keep trying to do that here in overtime when Luminosity have all the money for the nades, we could see the same thing that happened in the last round. Although Luminosity, this time they do have an extra man over in Connector. Fallen, he can cheat back over to B very quickly.
Oh, a bit of a repeat there, and a great job for FNX taking out Azza, who's been such a force for Renegades. Now they're going to try and see if they can commit to this B bomb site, but I'm not sure about this one, Samuel. They got 4 men stacked right now, Luminosity at the B bomb site.
This is very slow play again. 30 seconds, and they're trying to get clever here. Boost so that Yam can look over the smoke, and he might catch somebody out there moving together. I like the timing. Good work coming in from Sponge. Basilo goes jumping through, and there we go. It actually works. Cold, point blank with the AWP. We'll find Astillo, however, and Fallen, he's in position exactly to hit that long line onto the site, drop the bomb carrier, and now it's all on Yam, 1v3, and he finds the first pick on Fallen, but he has so little time to play with here. 10 seconds, and it's just not good enough. Fur is there to shut him down, and Luminosity are now on match point.
I can't believe that worked. They actually managed to walk out on top of each other to look over the smoke. That's unreal. That's actually very, very hard to do, even though you've practiced a bit and stuff like that. That's unlikely to work. So now we're at 18-17 though. Luminosity, they will stay in the lead here, and they're just a single round away from taking this one.
Curious to see. Now Renegades backs her to the wall. It's time to go. You need to tie it up 18-18 to get that second round of overtime going. Otherwise, Luminosity, they are picking up the map. And once again, we go the distance and point blank. Cold is going to shut down Azza, and he gets the follow-up on Sponge, and he even hits that shot through the wall.
Wow, Cold Zero feeding his sniper rifle to the Australian team. Yustilo up here on the plateau. It's a 2-on-4 right now, and this is all they have to hold on to this overtime. Otherwise, Luminosity will eventually run away with the map here. Yustilo close range. He's going to go down Fallen with the AWP, and Yam now. He drops Fallen, making the last kill work for them, and Luminosity taking it in overtime here. 19-17 for the first map in E-League.
Brutal to go all that way for Renegades and to fall short in overtime. It's so harsh. And they're not done yet. They still have another map coming up.
Yeah, and that's going to be potentially a more tricky and a more difficult map. I'm shocked, honestly, that Renegades sort of managed to push it that far. What a performance from them. I think they were playing a lot better than we were maybe expecting.
I think so as well, right? And it's hard to point out. I mean, Still didn't really show up in any huge way. We've seen him have an impact in the past, but this time around, it was that core. It was the two players that were talked about on the desk. Azza, JKS, they delivered. But I'm sure we'll hear all about it. We'll hear what the desk has to say after this short break. So guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be here for the breakdown.
to the action. And an incredible opening game. We didn't really see it coming on the desk. We had two ridiculous performances. One guy, I think we kind of expected to go off. coldzera dropping 34 kills overall. AZR for Renegades, we gave him a little bit of the spotlight, but not much. That's one of the best performances I've seen that guy have in just full stop forever.
Yeah, it's been some time. I mean, it's got to be him or JKS for the Renegade side, but what a game. I mean, when you're going head-to-head with Cold, that means you did something right.
Now, over the course of the game, there was some incredible highlights. Here's one here. Fallen, we talked about how good he was. I mean, Mo, he had a great performance.
They actually managed to make the 2-op setup work that I didn't think it would work on this.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, you criticized that at the start, you know, and Fallen, just incredible. We talked about his unique skill set. I mean, your hands never moved that fast except when you were reaching for an Arby's sandwich. So this guy is amazingly talented. We also saw as well JKS coming up clutch, and then this is at the end, just coldzera and Fallen bringing in the win for the boys. Look at this, Fallen again. This is the hand speed, Mo. Take a look and weep. Never that good, but just an absolute monster. But
I did beat him one-on-one, just so you know that. So
yeah,
I have that on him.
That's never happened. Sure.
It actually has.
Did that actually happen?
It's official. Ask him. We'll ask him later.
Yeah. I think he's got other things on his mind right now, dude.
Yeah.
But look, before we even start talking about Luminosity, let's talk about Renegades, because you didn't give them a single hope, and you, Moses, so in the battle of the Moes, you're coming out ahead slightly because you said you felt this was a map that Renegades could push them the distance on. So
yeah, I mean,
fight amongst yourselves, kids.
Well, first of all, let's talk about Battle of the Moes. Don't stick me down there. This is a map that early in the year they actually looked very much improved, especially on Cobble. This was a map that they did very well. It was kind of, you know, where the utility is so important on those executions. You could see when they're running the clock down, it's so critical to have, you know, good placings for your flashbangs, good placing for your smokes and your Molotov, so that when you're running out of time entering a bomb site, you have our positions that are already cleared out or isolated. But just, you know, the individual performance, I mean, they've been saying we cannot wait to show what we've been working on. You know, we haven't shown much, but we've been improving with this new coach, and that was a good start to this season for him.
I like to think I feel their fire, honestly, because if I didn't say what I said, probably would have been like a 16. Probably would have been a lot different. One thing I want to mention that Luminosity did not do anything that I thought they would do. They did one strat the whole time. They just kept trying to go B the entire time. Yeah. They only went A when the other team was saving, but that's just not like them to not adapt quicker. So they kind of forced it. It makes me think maybe they were doing something where maybe they're working on a strat and they decided this is so early on, you know, we're not worried, but they should have been worried.
It might be they didn't even feel they needed to use strats against Renegades.
It's a possibility, but I don't want to take any credit away from Renegades. That was amazing. They turned out so many rounds.
Yeah, but with that said, I mean, it's still a typical Renegades performance in a lot of ways. This is a team that when they were at their best, they would get close to beating people, but they would always fall at that last hurdle. And what I'm worried about now, you know, there's another map coming up, of course. Are these guys going to go on tilt? Because we know they've got that tendency to get so close to beating the world #1 and the opening day of E-League, and then you fall by 2 rounds.
This is their chance to show us that they're different. Because if they just lose like 16-5 or something, then it's just showing us the same old Renegades where they just let the tilt take over.
No, I mean, listen, it's Train. 16-5 is in the realm of possibility here against the Train. This is where we talk about those 2-op setup with Cold and Fallen, and we saw it effective on Cobble. It's going to be much easier for them to make it work on Train. But I mean, just in general, this is a good showing from them, and that's kind of, it is classic Renegades, but you know, this is, now they look better in this matchup, I think, and it is all about getting over that hump at a certain point. So I mean, it's at least just a good start. It's something they have to build on, and while they fall short, I mean, you also have to think that in the course of the season, this bodes well against North American teams also.
And a few fan thoughts about Luminosity. I mean, Mo, you were a competitor. You know that sometimes you got to win ugly, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, they got the W at the end of the day, but they just seemed like a different team, because I'm used to seeing them adapt a lot quicker and do different things when one thing isn't working, not keep doing the exact same thing and have it fail, but keep doing it. What was very interesting, though, I want to just mention that Sponge and the Taco both kind of manned up in overtime, and for the most of the match, they weren't doing much. So that's good to see that they were able to, like, even the people that weren't doing too well stepped up at the end and won some crucial rounds for their teams.
Well, just to remind you at home, this is what the schedule looks like. I'm an American now. Do I say schedule or schedule?
Schedule.
Yeah, whatever.
Schedule.
Okay, you can see we're going to have the rest of this Luminosity Renegades series coming up. Then after that, it's going to be a battle of the North American Giants. You got Team Liquid versus Cloud9. Team Liquid, of course, semi-finalists at a major. Cloud9, originally the standard bearers for North American Counter-Strike. And then a rematch of that semi-final from the major to close out the day. Team Liquid versus Luminosity. That one was absolute heartbreak for Team Liquid, but I don't want to... no spoilers, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But anyway, so an amazing action-packed day ahead of us. What we're going to do is we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the next map here.
My brother used to play Magic the Gathering. There was a card game called Falling Angel, so I started using Falling Angel, but I decided that Angel Power was too much, so I just kept falling.
And here you have Luminosity in the huddle in the break there. We were sat here on our desk watching the guys, how they were going to react to almost slipping up against a team that was just inconceivable that they were going to lose to on Cobblestone. They're known for that. They are a band of brothers from Brazil. That's Luminosity there. So guys, Moses and Mo still with me. We're into the second map of the series now. Renegades on Train. I know you've said that you feel that Luminosity are the superior team on Train, but obviously there was a period of time when Renegades were picking this map. I remember them, I believe it was at the last chance qualifier for the majors. This was the map that they were going with. This was the map that they felt they could do some damage on.
Yeah, I mean, I just seem to remember you calling it not a map pool, a map puddle before we started saying it. It's just because there's not really the strongest map. Just because it's what they wanted to play, what they thought was the strongest, doesn't mean, you know, they're going to be world beaters on it. This is, I mean, Luminosity, as we said, best team in the world, major winners. It's much different than what they're just doing in some standard, you know, North American battle with other teams. So, yeah, they have trained and they've usually felt comfortable on it. It's a map they pretty frequently, like, this is one of those maps they want to play, maybe the 2 or 3 in their pool. But against Luminosity, it's just a really, really tall task.
Mo, have you seen anything to make you change your mind?
No. What's worrying about Luminosity right now is that both Cold Zero and Fallen are hitting shots with the op. If it was one was struggling, I would say maybe, you know, it's Train. One op is down, they have a chance, but both of them are insane right now with the op, so I don't see any hope for Renegades. But last time I said that, it went into overtime.
But
So
the double op setup viable on Train, right? That's
entirely.
it was born on Train.
Yeah.
And actually, Luminosity's doing a good job of using 4 ops on Train. So
I've
why
seen
not?
4 ops.
Why not get crazy?
I would love to see the 4 ops, 1 auto sniper setup that they've been known to run.
Yeah, but I mean, again, you're not going to run a strat like that here. Like, not with the stakes being so high. You can't afford to drop points in this group stage, right?
You know, if it ever gets up to
that's
like...
showboating a little bit. That's
They actually did it to win when they were losing, and it worked out. So it could be one of those things.
That was
last
against your
minute.
team, wasn't
Yeah, that's how I know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
and it worked.
As I said,
yeah.
It was showboating.
It happened to work. Actually, they were losing, but they did that, and then now they won the round because of that.
All right, well, we'll see if it comes. Let's get over. We're going to get into the action now. We'll go back to our boys, Anders and Semler. It's going to be Crane, Luminosity versus Renegades.
Well, here it is coming up, the second map here between the two, and it should be very interesting. I mean, it ended in overtime for the first map. That was on Cobblestone, and a map that we know Renegades are pretty good on. Now it's Train Semler, and I dread to think what will happen to the Australians here, because it was already a bit heartbreaking into that first map. Could it be worse, Semler? Could it be any worse?
I think it definitely could be very much so worse. Instead of it going the distance and taking us to overtime on the first map of this beautiful league, they could get completely annihilated and stomped out of this map. I could totally see Luminosity initiating the complete lockdown on their CT side. And already we see Luminosity, more of what we saw on Cobblestone, straight aggression with FNX hunting for a kill right now. He spotted out one. I don't think he spotted the bomb though. So we'll see, but there is a long lurk coming in here from Cold. He's worked his way out from Alley, and he gets a kill on Sponge, and that was all the way back in T-spawn. So now Renegades, they have to worry about their flanks. They have to worry about getting backstabbed here.
Yeah, that's not just a kill, that's a destruction of their entire terrorist side setup here. Like, they have no idea how, well, they know Luminosity know a lot, but they have no idea how they responded to it. And Cold, he's already fallen really far back. He's just playing again for information here, but that kill is a round-winning kill, or it should be.
Oh no, in the rotation. Fallen, they've even doubled up in Pop Dog. With Fallen and Fur both here to hold the line. Cold is still spotting out from Alley, and he's even going for the aggressive push. And if he dies, that's a lot of info gained. 50 seconds left, and Cold even gets a second kill. And that can make all of the difference here. Luminosity, once again, rotating over. But this has been such a slow pace set by Renegades. They're really making use of the clock. 40 seconds left, and Luminosity still not exactly sure where they're going to be coming from. A lot of the heat is going to be here on Fur, though. In a couple seconds, Renegades are going to come roaring around that corner, and it's all on him, at least picking up one kill.
Yeah, but they have no grenades to get him out of this angle with. They don't have a smoke, they don't have a Molotov, which they'll have later on. And oh, Fur, look at that cut. Just completely calm click. He even managed to cross, and they don't even hit him. I'm not sure what's happening here, but he should have at least been taking some damage there. And now Fallen comes in and closes out the round. Luminosity off to a fantastic start here on Train. I still think that play from Cold Zero is just, it's so hard for Renegades to get mentally back into a round after you know that everything you do is being mapped pretty much by the CT side.
And I think they're going to be struggling regardless because of how that first map played out. When you go the distance, you go to overtime, and we have the replay from Fallen's perspective. It always seems like you get a highlight reel from Fallen whenever he's playing in front of Alley as well. It's just one of those spots where he just seems to lock on and get headshots. But Renegades, after losing such a close match where I'm sure they feel like they should have won it, they should have won Cobblestone, they should have been up 1-0 here going into Train. They have to, they have to deal with that already on top of the pistol round just completely getting picked apart by Luminosity.
Well, look at this here. I mean, because they didn't get the bomb plant in the pistol round, they've gone for pistol and armor sort of force up here. And that makes a lot of sense because they're going to be waiting to the fourth round anyway.
Yeah.
If you get the money bonus from putting down the bomb in the pistol round, then you might as well sort of wait around and then buy in the third round. But this way, they're going to be buying in the fourth round anyway. So they're just trying to give themselves a bit of a chance here to have an impact on the round. And it's not so bad. I mean, they're playing against 2 UMPs, 1 scout. So if they can avoid Fur and Taco that have the 2 M4s, it's possible that they could have a real impact on this round. I think this is a reasonable gamble for Renegades.
But it is going to be the setup. Look at this, the bomb outside of Alley right now. And that's where Fallen is with the scout. Fallen is just waiting for somebody to peek. All he wants is to find that shot. And the smoke has been used on that inner sight. No rotation coming out here just yet from Luminosity. However, they still have the 3 players set on A. And right now, Luminosity, they're getting pushed back. Astillo, he will find Taco, but Fur is there to take down JKS. And now that's forced the rotation. Luminosity, however, they're going to get completely caught out. The bomb, it's just now making its way onto the site.
And this is great because they're going to have such good afterplans. Justilo, as long as he stays alive back here, he's taking a fight now with FNX. Oh, he might go down, and that might be a big problem here. FNX not quite hitting the shots, and now the scout is in a good position, but the bomb is planted for Justilo right now. So as long as he's alive, it's going to be really tough. He runs right into Cold Zero, and Sponge takes out one. Actually transferred that spray. He's on 11 health. He's going to go for the peek right here, and Cold Zero going to take it away. The triple UMP kill right into the defuse. What a heartbreaking round here.
Thankfully, Fur and Cold were hitting shots. 2 kills for Fur, 3 for Cold, and a clutch yet again going Luminosity's way. So Renegades, they might be feeling just a little frustrated. I mean, not a whole lot, because they should be writing off those kinds of rounds in their head anyways, coming into it.
Yeah, true.
But still, winning an eco round would have been massive for Renegades.
I am wondering how Cold Zero got onto the bomb train without Sponge seeing it. Because I think that's what caused Justilo to just run back. And as soon as he went down, the round was probably not ever going to be won. So a bit of a shame. Sponge with the solitary smoke grenade here. Trying to maybe see if they can get a bomb plant down to get a bit closer. Cold Zero close with the SMG, but he's going to go down. That Eagle doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, completely ineffective flash, actually. The timing just did not work. Now an MP9 has been picked up here for Renegades. Ustillo working his way out once again, wreaking havoc with that P250, but Fallen doing a perfect job of falling back to the bomb site so he does not get overwhelmed by the players running in through alley. And now they get caught out in the open, and things just kind of fall apart here for Renegades. Catching him lined up at the end. A quad kill here for him in this anti-eco. And it's a 3-0 lead now for Luminosity going into Renegades' first buy round.
This is still pretty good stuff. I mean, Renegades are doing a little bit of damage. It's a shame they can't get the bomb down, but they are in the 4th round here. They've got Yam with the AWP, and they have 5 Molotovs. So already that suggests that they are going to go for like a real execute. And with the Molotovs, I have this feeling people prefer Molotovs in the B bomb site for some reason. So we'll see if that's going to work out.
Renegades going for their default, it looks like, right now at least. No, straight out.
Wow.
Ustillo, wow. This might actually catch Luminosity off guard. Fur and Fallen, they have to be careful, and Fallen will catch Sponge. That was over by A-Main to start things off, and so we'll see. JKS is there, but Ustillo, he's been caught, and he got headshot right off the bat. Yam, though, in position to catch out Fallen, who was peeking for info, and now Renegades with the man advantage, but FNX is there to take out Yam. It's just back and forth. Non-stop action here between both of these teams in this key round.
They do have a health advantage right now on the Brazilian side, and FNX is going to capitalize on that, get the kill on Ustillo. Now it's Azur and JKS left here, and Azur played so well on Cobblestone, but this time he's going to end up going down. So a 1-on-3. He's got the time for it. That's about the only thing you could say, and he wasn't expecting the double peak, so it will be another round here for Luminosity. But we should point out they are on the more favored side here, so even if they're off to a good start, they can't relax too much either.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, this is still a CT-sided map. Even though we have seen teams, dominate on T side, put rounds together, Luminosity should be solid enough with their defense to be able to hold off Renegades, even though it is getting pretty close. And I'm wondering, just how much that has to do with, when Renegades have pistols in their hands. Are they showing just a little bit less fear? Are they willing to just run in there and take the fight, play selfless? I mean, there is that to consider, but once again, it's going to be pistols here for Renegades, so we'll see if they can keep it close. Fallen, though, look at this, man. All-out aggression from him. He's just charging up into Brown Halls, taking the fight to him. Taco gets caught. JKS will find Fur, and it's just falling apart completely here. Luminosity, they get overrun once again, going aggressive.
Yeah, see, that was not part of the plan here. Grenade going to rain on in, do a little bit of damage to FNX, but the bomb will be planted, and they have a Molotov on Yam, and he's even in a position... No, he's not actually... He's going to fall back now. He needs to be on the high ground there, because then he could stop the defuse from coming through. They do have 2 smokes there, so LG could also cancel the Molotov with using one of those smokes, and this is already... You can see Yam setting up for it. There's 1 smoke out. FNX still has his. Is he going to go and tap the bomb? He's going to smoke it off, and that means the Molotov's not going to do a damn thing. Great counterplay coming out here from the Brazilian side. Sponge charging in, but they both go down simultaneously. That is not so easy if you're on Luminosity. You really got to keep your head cool there, and they managed to use those grenades perfectly.
Yeah, that's good use of utility, right? And Renegades tried to do the same thing, but once that smoke comes into play, it's done. Now we see it from Renegades' perspective. I mean, Fallen, he traded up 1 for 1, but that's not good enough. I do like that Luminosity are showing that they're willing to get aggressive in Brown Halls, though. Sometimes we don't really see that from CT teams. They stay too focused on the site itself, trying to hold back in case they get rushed. Luminosity showing Renegades that you will not be able to, sneak by or try and take risks over here by skimping. We will come over here and we will put pressure on this part of the map, so you need to keep that in mind, Renegades, when you're setting up.
And buying into the double up setup here is Luminosity, as we were just talking about, and Mo was pointing out it was practically born on this map, especially back in 1.6. This is something that people would do very, very often. So I guess we're going to have to find out if Renegades have what it takes to stop it. Not right now, certainly. Fur and Cold Zero in charge of picking up the opening kills here in the 6th round. This is turning into a very, very bad start on this map for Renegades.
Yeah, this is brutal. It's as hard as it gets. And Cold and Fur starting off. Ustillo once again gets punished for trying to push out aggressively. He did not get the kill on Fur this time. This time Fur was ready for him. So Renegades are showing their hand, slowly but surely they're showing their hand here to Luminosity. And Luminosity are making the correct adjustments, even going aggressive in Pop Dog, and Fur gets out. That's unforgivable. He should never survive that. JKS needed to be there to get that trade kill.
Where's that superhero play coming out of Fur? He just dove down the ladder and just escaped. Basically escaped from all of that. It's ridiculous. Well, Azza not even going to be able to do any damage to the CT side economy. That's 3 AWPs. Has Mo been bribing this team just to try and see if he can get them to play with the 4 AWPs on the auto sniper like he was talking about? This is almost unreal.
I'm calling a timeout here after this round. Or I'm calling that Renegades will call for the timeout. If they lose this and go down 0-7 to Luminosity, that should be. We've heard of certain teams, they have this fail-safe. Whenever they are getting beat up that hard at the beginning of a half, they'll just call for the timeout, slow things down. And when you have a big round like this, I mean, they do go for the bye here in this round, Renegades, but next round is going to be brutal if they can't actually put anything here together. Luminosity are so far ahead.
I'm disappointed. They tossed away one of the AWPs, Semler. That's unforgivable. How could you do that? I know Mo's going to be disappointed as well.
For shame. Ostillo's out in the open, though. He might be able to catch out. I mean, oh no, my mistake. He was not out in the open. He thought he got onto a train somehow. He's been going aggressive A main so many times. But instead, it's going to be Renegades going back to a play that they've already used, putting 3 players over here towards Alley. So we'll see. Cold is holding very passively with that AWP. All he gets to do right now is just sit and wait for Renegades to push. And that seems to be what Luminosity have their heart set on right now. Just waiting it out. No aggression this time anywhere on the map. So Luminosity showing some diversity in their play, being a little bit more difficult to predict for Renegades.
Still got 55 seconds on the clock here, but there is about to be a bit of a battle going down here at the back alley. Fallen looking for the first shot, but it will be Yam, and actually Fallen, how does he get behind the box? He picks up one more. This is a ridiculous fight that Fallen should have never come out on top of, and then it's going to be all over Fur with a double kill at the end. He could have maybe got the first one, never should he have lived through it. He's so quick.
I'm just looking at Fallen right now, because what else are you supposed to do after that? Unfortunate for Cold, but the fact that he gets the follow-up on Yam, that's insane. He got a little greedy at the end there, trying to get JKS, but the rest of his team, they come through. They make sure that nobody from on the edges can come in for Renegades to get onto that site to try and pinch Fallen. And it's just a perfect round coming in, and yep, there's that timeout. So Renegades, they've down 0-7 after a bye round as well, where they had the setup. They should have been able to come out ahead, especially after that opening kill on Cold. If Fallen trades 1-for-1, that's fine, because you trade and you keep pushing from there. But nothing seems to be working for Renegades right now. They haven't been able to get their heads in the game the way they were able to on Train.
No, definitely not. And if you look at the Australian team right now, just look across their faces. Who's doing the talking? They're allowed to, I mean...
Is it PK?
I'm a little bit in the background, yeah.
I think it's PK who's doing a lot of the talking right now, actually, for Renegades. I mean, it's good to see that they finally have that coach, right?
That hopefully would help, and especially now you'd think he's the guy who's under a lot less pressure. He's outside of the game, so he could, maybe just take a breather and say, look, guys, let's get back in this, let's win a couple of rounds and then readjust to everything. But I don't know about this current situation. I'm starting to worry because I think they were being way too quiet there. It's fine that the coach is talking, but I want more interaction on the team there.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just kind of sit. I mean, yes, okay, listen to your coach, but there should at least be a little bit of a discussion, a bit of a back and forth. And I'm watching them right now as well to see if Sponge, is getting involved in this. Because right now it needs to be, you got to be picking up on the little details here. You have to be trying to figure out, okay, well, it didn't work that time because Fallen, once again, showed up at Alley. What can we do to change things up? Do we want to try and see if we can't get into Brown Halls and go for an aggressive inner push at this point? Because Luminosity are so good at shutting us down on this A site. Let's try and get over to B.
Yeah, what must really hurt is that Renegades know that when they take some of these fights, like the last one with Fallen there, they actually are doing a pretty good job. Yam getting the first frag. They know they're supposed to be able to trade that kill on Fallen as soon as he gets the first kill, but he's just so good that they can't bridge that gap. He's just so much better.
And it's the clutch rounds as well. I mean, Luminosity has been winning the clutch rounds. Once again, we saw Cold in that one round with the UMP, 1v2, wins it. I mean, that sort of thing is also going to be messing with Renegades' heads right now because it was the same story. It wasn't until JKS stepped up on Cobble, won a clutch, and actually started to get the ball rolling for Renegades. It was the same story. Luminosity, clutch after clutch, going their way. And that's what will win you these games. If you're going to win a map, you need to actually be able to pick up a clutch round here or there just to keep you fighting and in it.
Well, the tactical timeout is about to run out here, and Renegades, they're down 7 rounds right now. They don't have a single round here on Train, even though it ended in overtime in their first match, which was on Cobblestone. If you missed that, I mean, it's worth going back and checking it out, because that was quite a game for Renegades. They really played well, but this time they're not getting a chance at all.
Well, it's time. I mean, we're live right now, and it is straight aggression here from Renegades. They've gone for a half buy with Tech9s and Kevlar, trying to power onto the B site, and so far it's a 1-for-1 trade, so it is looking good. Renegades, they've already accomplished their goal. No, they get denied. Fur, he comes out of lower ramp at the wrong time. Taco and Fur just wrecking Renegades. I was about to say that Renegades had accomplished their goal. They were going to get that bomb plant. They wanted that bonus money, and boom, Fur shows up and shuts them down.
Yeah, this is when you got to start wondering, is anything going to work? I mean, this is just painful. Fur right now at 14, 1, and 3. That's his scoreline here, just now starting in the 9th round. So he is an absolute beast right now. Renegades, they don't have anyone who comes even close.
No, that's the issue. You need these duels to be going your way. You need to start doing some damage. And we're just not seeing it. Ustillo, once again, going to go aggressive straight out of A main. Olafmeister style, basically, and Fallen is there to create a big kill coming in for Fallen to start things off, and Fur still holding the line over by Pop Dog, doing big damage. Nothing is working for Renegades right now. They're just getting completely annihilated as they try and push out onto the site. Not a single kill going their way. Luminosity, a flawless round.
Yeah, see, this is where Counter-Strike becomes a really hard game with losing this badly, because you've got no motivation. Whatever kind of speech someone on your team is going to give to tell you, "Oh, go get back into it. You know, we've done this before. We've been in this position before." It's gonna just ring out so hollow. You're not gonna believe it. You're not gonna feel it. Someone has to make a play that changes this. Like, it has to be some individual person that says, "I will get the triple kill. We'll win the round, and we'll start to get back into this."
The Aza ace, right?
Yeah.
On Cobble, the first ace of the tournament, and that was a big turning point. That really revitalized Renegades. We have to see now. Sponge trying to force things here, trying to take point. Fallen gets back around that corner, though, and Fallen playing it safe. Does not overextend. He hears the steps on JKS. He knows somebody else is coming in here. And Sponge, though, going to catch out FNX, but fails to get the kill. Finally, something goes their way, but not for long. Fallen is there to get the trade kill on Yam.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that Sponge had the Deagle then, because it's not really a great weapon to go for that kind of flank with, but he didn't have a choice, and it's a shame he couldn't get that kill. Now, it's another round for Luminosity. Now 10 in a row, uninterrupted by the Australian side. And I don't know what Renegades could do. They got the AWP. They need to find that opening frag, just the one kill.
Put Ustillo out through A main aggressive again. Cross your fingers and hope that Fallen isn't going to be peeking you. I'm thinking that's maybe the play. Otherwise, it has to be another inner side push, push, just fully commit to it. Doesn't look like that for now, though. It looks like they are going to be setting up for that A split eventually. And yeah, Yam trying to get clever here with this positioning. He knows that Fallen was there to peek on Ustillo last round, so he's hoping that Fallen gets greedy, goes for it again. But that's just not the case. Fallen, he's taking up an aggressive position in alley right now, waiting to see if Renegades are going to go for that 3 terrorist kind of play over there once again.
My God. 2 shots out of Yam. That could have definitely connected there. Instead, all he gets is a bit of Molotov damage on him. It has to fall back once again, and look at the aggressive play coming out of Fallen here. He's scoped up, walking around the corner again. You've got to realize, if he misses a shot here, he could very likely go down, but he's just so confident right now. And JKS shot in the face with the sniper.
So fast. JKS, no time to react, just dead. Well, once again, man advantage here for Luminosity. And they're set up for another perfect hold here. Renegades are just all spread out. They're hoping they're going to be able to get in here, but oh, Fallen, he spotted him. He must have spotted him, but he does not pull the trigger. That could have been a dead Sponge right there. Dried up and husky. Instead, Fallen, he's still alive. He sees the Molotov come in, so he has the info. Now it's all on Luminosity hitting the shots, and FNX, he started off strong.
Yeah, but even the fact that Fallen sees it, man, means Sponge almost can't get in here and help his team. He's going to go down. Ustillo with a kill on Cold Zero. Taco drops to Yam. I mean, at least we're in a 1-on-3, which might have been the best round for a long time, but it's still nowhere near good enough as Fallen picks up a triple kill, and Luminosity now at 11 rounds. Fallen at 14, Fur at 17.
What monsters. It's like Taco, he's just like, guys, can you come B-site like once, please? You know, just give me some action over here, you know? He's only got 4 kills, so that's not necessarily a bad thing, obviously. It's just that he's not seeing anybody to actually, you know, give him a shot at it. 9 kills for Cold as well. I mean, everybody's just doing so much work. Aza, he's at 2 frags right now. That is not cutting it, especially after the performance that we saw on Cobblestone. He really needs to get his head in the game here and start finding some kills to help his team out.
Yeah, you gotta wonder, did he use all his energy on that one match? I mean, was he out of it? What a shot from Fallen coming out. It drops the bomb. Cold Zero to take out Ustillo. This is a slaughter, Semler.
Oh, Fallen is so confident, he just goes right through, and it actually worked as well. Yam got the shot blind, but Fur is there to take out Azza. He will get caught by Sponge. Still, man advantage here for Luminosity. Bomb is under control here for Renegades, however, they do have it on Yam, and he's making his way over here, so they're going to get that buddy system going. Him and Sponge going to try and duo it up and work their way out together. But there's 2 players already on this A site, and there's a long lurk coming in here from Taco. He's worked his way all the way through B halls, so now they know Luminosity that it is going to be on this A site. There are no other options here for Renegades.
But you gotta wonder if the collapse of the first map that they ended up losing in overtime somehow had an effect on the beginning of this map. You know, as soon as things started to go badly, they were looking good, you know, for some of those rounds, but then, you know, they just couldn't carry it any longer, and now I don't know if there's any coming back here.
Well, look at Taco as well. He's already just sitting in Pop Dog. So as soon as this bomb gets planted, there's actually nowhere safe for Renegades to plant it. Yam is going to be worried about that. Obviously, they're going to be looking towards Connector. But eventually, they're going to have to get this bomb down. 30 seconds left, and they're hoping to get lucky and find a shot. And they will be able to get a man onto the high ground. So Sponge, he'll be able to watch over his teammate, and they succeed in planting the bomb. So now it's all about Taco, and he does give away his position. That's going to open it up a little bit here for his teammates. And Yam just afraid to peek. He does not want to give away the free kill. It's all about waiting now for Luminosity to close in on him. But he's lost the high ground. He's lost Sponge. And now it's all on Taco and Cold to come through. And Cold just trying to bait out that shot so Taco can work his way in.
Grenades raining out. Yam, he does spot the guy by Electric. He needs that quick shot here, otherwise he's going to get flanked. Walking up right behind him is Cold Syrup. Pistols out now. Bomb ticking away. No scope. It had to connect. And it's just not going to happen. Luminosity will win the round. Oh my god.
12 rounds in a row.
Let's be honest though, that 2 versus 3 was... Renegades made it a lot more exciting than it could have been. It's still just not enough right now.
No, it's a far cry from what they actually need. This was good work here from Yam up close. That's obviously a shot that, you know, you can't afford to miss. But they worked so well together as a unit here. Between Cold and Taco, both of them shoulder peeking, just slowly hemming Yam in to where they could get him in that crossfire. Nowhere for Yam to go. And so, well, 12-0 Luminosity, huge lead, obviously. Just dominating on this CT side of Train, whereas Renegades, thanks to the bomb plant, at least they have the money to go for a buy. And Azza now, he might get peeked out by FNX. Nice shot from the ladder.
Yeah, that's a really good angle if you're on the terrace side. You should be getting that kill, really. So finally, a round that starts off in favor of Renegades. Have we even been able to say that for like the last 10 rounds? I think maybe not.
I don't think so. It's a bit of a stretch. Really hasn't been too much working out here for Renegades, unfortunately for them. But now, everything should be good, and they want to go for a tried and true strategy. A smoke round. Setting it up to get that execute. They do have Fur in position to deal with this. He's holding up close. So it's all on Fur now to get at least 1 kill from this position.
He is close by, going for the early spray. That's the bomb down, follows up with another kill. Doesn't have enough bullets to finish with a 3rd one, but still a very good defense. Fallen running through the smoke and taking that shot close range on JKS. Now 2 on 3, and no bomb plant happening yet. Fallen ridiculously picking up another kill on Nustilo, looking for the last one on Yam, but it will be Taco to finish it. 13 rounds here for Luminosity, and honestly, Fallen has just hit some sort of grotesque level at this point.
Dude, Fallen, he's rewritten the rules of hide and seek, right? That's like the highest level right there, and he's actually like, all right, I'm gonna come through here and deny it, but then that play of hide and seek on the bomb, and usually when you get caught, it's like you lose, right? Fallen's actually like, no, here's a bullet to your face, you're done. You caught me? All the way around.
Can't believe it. 13-0 here. This is what we were sort of warned from the analyst desk that this might have happened. And now we're seeing it, and it's still just a little bit scary here. Great trade coming out though. Renegades are going to be satisfied with that one.
He still gets the kill. That's nuts. At least Yam could actually make use of that AWP. It's going to be Astillo picking it up. Yam can make his way over here. They could get that trade going. So we'll see if he's actually able to get something out of that AWP. That's where it all matters. And Renegades just trying to actually throw Luminosity for a loop right now. They could commit to the B side if they want. Azza is nearby with that bomb, so they could actually make their way out here if somebody gets greedy on Luminosity and overextends. Their options are open with a minute left on this clock. Fur, nice nade. I guess not, never mind. CSGO.
I'm not sure what happened there, but maybe it bounced further back than it seemed, but Still a 4-on-4 here and 55 seconds. And Renegades, I think right now they're just desperately hoping that someone would come and peek them. I think Fallen just took a peek down Ivy and didn't see anyone, so that's a lot of information. Look at that. As a result, they're actually putting 3 people in the B bomb side, and that's based off of Fallen's information right now. That's all that Luminosity are playing off. They're going to get the kill on Justilo, but the actual push is happening at A right now. But the rotation is so quick, and Fallen picking up that kill further the follow-up, and JKS, what could he possibly do? I mean, Renegades, there was a very, very narrow window of opportunity there when Fallen makes the call that they're all going to be in B. That's when Renegades had a chance, and it evaporated so quickly. They were out of it.
Cole just demonstrating what happened to you know, Renegades' hopes and dreams coming into this match. You know, just like it went poof, they're gone poof.
Like a magic trick.
I mean, 14-0, and Renegades they've used their tactical timeout, so they no longer have any way to slow things up and try and slow down the pace. It's all about going into this 15th round and hoping that they are not, you know, that would be pretty crazy though, right? Do we get a first overtime followed by the first blowout to start things off in this league? How nuts would that be? I just cursed it, obviously, you know, caster curse, but...
Yeah, I think you did, but that would be great when they were just covering the full range of possibilities here, making it happen. I can't believe that Fur has almost as many kills as the entire Renegades team. It's so absurd, isn't it? Great grenade to start off here in the last round of the first half, and Renegades still trying to make a breakthrough and not quite succeeding either. Bomb is in B, but Cold Zero, he's heartless, isn't he?
That's nuts. Watching these guys work, it's so quick. Beautiful shot there from JKS, though. Catches Fallen just stepping out into the open. But they have bomb control, Luminosity. They have 3 players that could just camp this bomb. There is no way JKS is getting on top of this. Unless somebody makes a mistake or he hits some glorious shots. And that's another one. Fur down. So he's begun to whittle down the defense here, now into a 1v2. But Taco and Cold now, all they're doing is going to be changing it up. And JKS has so many angles to worry about. As you guys can see, Cold working his way into CT spawn at this point.
I mean, if they wanted to play this for 100%, they have 2 Molotovs. All they have to do is wait and camp the bomb, and JKS can't do a single thing. So right now, I think they're just playing off of the fact that they're feeling so confident. He has to run. I'm not sure why he's spending this long, because he must know the bomb is in B, so he has got no time to play around like this. Like, this is going to have to be just an all-out marathon for him. And yeah, that pretty much actually seals the deal. He can't do anything.
Just roast yourself, JKS. Accept it. Viking funeral.
Oh.
Viking funeral. Just throw yourself in it. You can't do anything else.
They put up a
10
second
seconds
one.
left. Just do it.
They are actually trolling him. Yeah, this is done. He's going to lose that fight. Cold Zero with the triple kill. 15-0 in favor of the Brazilian side. What a dominant first half.
Unreal. Unbelievable. Well, I mean, this is just how good Luminosity are. Individually, they just completely manhandled Renegades in the first half. And we'll be going to a very quick break now before we continue with this beatdown going into the second half. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. would say it, just blown out basically of this server.
Yeah, some level of annihilation coming into this here for the Renegades team, which is kind of shocking. I mean, even you were kind of persuaded by the performance on Cobblestone.
Oh yeah.
And then you got a feeling now that maybe they just that was it. You know, when that didn't work, there was no coming back mentally from it. You know. Because we were saying, obviously, it's quite a good job, you know. They actually managed to do better than than we thought they could. But I think maybe Renegades weren't thinking that. They put everything into that. Now look at this classic setup being put out here by Luminosity. They're going to try and see if they can just create a wall of smoke grenades on the A bomb site and then push up behind it and get the bomb down. And Renegades, they're in a good position for it, though.
Yeah, boosted up on the boxing connector. You can actually see over those smokes. And we'll see, there it is. First headshot onto FNX, and FNX has got to be wondering. Fur actually comes through, and it's Fallen instead to find that kill. You only get the one. Yam, though, will be able to step through that smoke, and there you go. Surprise! Peekaboo takes out Fur, and now he's looking for more. What is this? I mean, this focus on staying and fighting. They keep getting the man advantage, and then the trade kill comes in for Luminosity.
And now JKS is very low. Sponge might have to do this all on his own right now. There is no bomb plant and just 25 seconds, so that's the only thing working right now for Renegades is the fact that the clock is very low here for Luminosity. JKS trying to stay alive. Sponge taking a fight. That's a great shot. Has to reload the CSAT 75. He doesn't have time for it. Oh no, he's going to go down 16-0 as Luminosity clean sweep Renegades in the second map here of E-League. What a way to get started, Semler.
Unbelievable. First map of the league, overtime versus the best team in the world. Second map of the league, 16-0. They've kind of covered all the bases here, Anders. Now we just need a regular game that ends in 16 rounds for the win, right? Just brutal. A brutal start here.
Yeah, I can hardly believe it. That's that shows you, I think, the range of Counter-Strike there in a very succinct way.
And it's very rare that this happens as well.
Yeah, it is.
There's been jokes going around, you get Super Bowl rings. There were jokes going around last year, already Renegades had already been blown out once on LAN. And so there were jokes, like, hey, 16-0 club, that's what you get. If you get blown out, you get a ring. But I don't think that Sponge is going to be too happy about getting two of them.
Yeah, now I'm gonna look forward to unleashing Mo on this particular breakdown. So we'll do that after a quick break, and we'll be back with it. It's definitely going to be interesting, so stay with us.